What is going on, Casually FC? Welcome everyone to the Casually Chelsea show. I am joined here by Ahmed, Scott, and I am your host, Marshalldbdx. Before we go ahead and start this show, just want to let you guys know, make sure you're smashing that like button. It does help out the channel tremendously. Make sure you're subscribing. 60% of you that do watch this channel and do watch this show have not subscribed yet. It does help us out tremendously if you guys could simply click on that subscribe button and just get the news and get the show streamlined straight to your homepage. So go ahead and do that for me. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do go live. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description. All types of links there for our Discord, our Twitter. We have Sarcasm City's channel. We have Ahmeds Channel on there. All types of good stuff. So be sure to check that out. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about everything that we will be discussing today. And yeah, with that being said, guys, we do have a pretty jam-packed show for you guys. Big up Serge. Big up everyone who's here right now. And big up to the now treble winners, Man City. Man City have done it. They have won the treble the first time an English team has done it since 1999. I believe that's factual.
That's correct.
I don't know if I could say it's the first time a team has done it. I'm sure maybe there's another team that's done it.
2 years ago.
Oh, they were called Bayern. That's true.
Yes.
Right?
They did these six doubles. They didn't even do the treble.
Sheesh. Well, big up to Man City. You guys deserved it. Good game. I find it really it's just a shame to be Kevin De Bruyne and get hurt again in the Champions League final. But at the end of the day, I don't think he cares because they ended up winning it. Good goal from Rodri, by the way. I should say that was a fantastic goal. I think Rodri has to be more respected as a DM. I feel like people still sleep on Rodri.
No, he's definitely respected. Like, a lot of people consider him the best DM in the league. I would say he's up there as one of the best DMs in the world right now. Also, what cracks me up, I mentioned this I think on the stream I was on when me and Ahmed were on Sarcasm City when with the watch along. This was a guy who was second choice. He was literally their second option at the time because they missed out on Jorginho, and he's now best in the world, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good game. You know what really impressed me? And I know people had talked about this, but I never really got a chance to sit down and watch him play in this position. But it really fascinates me how Guardiola gets some hidden talents out of these players sometimes. And there were moments in that game where you just see John Stones just dribbling through the defense and getting these ridiculous passes. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is John Stones, a center back?
Speaking of dribbles, do you know, there was a stat I saw, and you've probably seen it. It was quite over Twitter quite a bit. He completed 6 out of 6 dribbles in the final. The last player to do that, Lionel Messi.
We're gonna have people in the chat. Are we comparing Stones to Messi now?
Nah, like we are. He's an example, by the way, of when people speak in terms of Pep and his ability to develop players. It's players like Stones. Like, this is a guy who at Everton was a good centre back. Even when he first joined City, was a good centre back. It looked like he maybe didn't have a place as like a starter. He was more of a backup, especially when you had the likes of Diaz coming in and Laporte and whatnot. But has always been a mainstay for Pep, and now has transitioned to a role that he has taken in his stride. Like, he is taken to it better than some players takes their actual position.
It was really impressive. I couldn't believe what I was seeing in front of me. Like, it was just really impressive. I had no words to describe. Like, oh my god, I'm seeing Stones play as a DM right now, and he's doing really good. And I mean, we'll talk about Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez, obviously, but I mean, Onana had a great performance as a keeper. It's just unfortunate, in that situation, people want to say, "Oh, that was Onana's fault." Man had two of Inter's players blocking his view. I don't think there was really much he could do with it. Rodri placed it really well, and goddamn Denzel Dumfries, bro, what a howler performance he had as well. Like,
that's
he
just Denzel Dumfries. That is just
people still want him.
In a nutshell.
Yeah. People still want him. The man was buffering for that one play.
But that's literally what he offers, as Ahmed said. That's him as a player. He is I don't even know how to define him as a player because like everything that like that it's weird with Inter because they had completely diametrically opposed wing backs. You had a guy in DeMarco who was going to get wide, was going to whip balls in with like pinpoint accuracy, and was going to offer something in that regard. And you've got another guy in Dumfries who is not going to offer you any of that. He's literally he's there as a late runner to get on the end of those crosses for DeMarco. That's all he's offering you. A little bit defensively at times, but like going forward, he offers so little.
To be honest, he got pretty lucky in a few calls with Jack Grealish. I mean, that one call where he was just pulling Grealish's jersey off of him, essentially, not get a yellow. The refereeing yesterday. What did you guys think of the refereeing?
I thought it was really good, actually. I thought he kept apart from towards the end, like he would got a bit caught happy towards the end, but
yeah.
But I just think for me, that game it just showed you, bro, the level of Man City. I just think in a nutshell, it showed you, man. It's really been like a decade of almost dominance in my eyes now, more than a decade. And listen, man, it just shows competence pays dividends, and that's what we need to do as a football club as well.
And before we move on to the next topic, and you know, I'll give this one to Andrew, or just everyone in general. But Andrew will start us off on this one. You guys think that Inter can get this far next season, or is this like a one-off? Like they just got a really lucky run?
It's a one-off. This team isn't strong enough. We saw it in the final. Their defense isn't anywhere strong enough, and they're about to lose arguably their best centre back. No, they're about to lose arguably their best centre back. They're about to lose their first choice goalkeeper potentially. They're going to lose one of their strikers, who is their backup option, and their first choice. Well, they might lose their starting striker. Their second choice striker is not good enough to affect a game in a high quality level because he's 37, and their third choice striker is just plain garbage. And they've got no one to come off the bench really to affect games. Like they're a team who have a ceiling because of the level of talent they have, and I think that the coach that they had helped and the run they had helped get to this point. I just don't see if enough teams or if the draw is slightly different, slightly different, or a couple of teams are a bit more up to scratch, there's no way they're making this final. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also, go ahead, South. It's your question.
So, you know, Mo, the Inter fan, I'm never a foul. So he was saying the other day that Inter in talks to refinance a lot of things with the owners and everything like that. So that would depend on their summer. Because if they can do that, then they don't have to sell like they would do previously. So if you want their players, you're going to have to pay for them exactly what they want. So that's really important to see if they're going to actually be able to do that or not. If not, then I still think they might sell their players anyway, but that will pay into it. I don't think Inter, even if they got that far, I think Man City will beat them again anyway. Because I think Man City will win it again next season. So that's the thing.
But you think Man City can win the Champions League again next season?
Yeah, sure. Why not? You've got I don't know who the striker for Real Madrid is at the moment. They've got no one. Barcelona, I don't care what this says about that league. Barcelona are trash. Bayern Munich are in a transition period at this moment in time. PSG I don't know what PSG are doing. Messi's gone. There's rumors about Neymar.
They don't have a manager yet either, right? They're still looking for a manager?
No, they don't have that. The English sides are Man United. All depends really what happens to the takeover for Man United, I suppose, to see who they can get. Arsenal have got no European pedigree whatsoever. And Newcastle
even with the takeover though, with United, like the amount of turnover they'd had to have in terms of quality, like they'd either have to go all out for the Champions League or get serious quality in terms of like their squad. It's nowhere near good enough to compete on both fronts. So unless you're just going to sack the league off entirely, which if they're doing that, they're finishing mid-table like what we did.
Yeah,
probably not as bad, but we're pretty much mid-table.
Why wouldn't they be overwhelming favourites to? They should be overwhelming favourites to repeat.
Aren't you guys worried that with Gundogan and potentially Silva leaving, it's going to drastically change that midfield?
We said that this season though.
Well, they got.
They'll do what they always do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I wouldn't rule them out. I can see them getting involved in a Rice. I can see them getting involved for Rice, especially if the Gundogan and Bernardo Silva both turn around and say they want to leave, I can see them going, right, let's get him for Rice.
And
I can
even
see him doing that. And why would, if Rice thinks that the Arsenal's a good project, why would he think Man City's a better project?
True.
Do you know what I mean? You'd be overwhelming favourites, and they're going to bring in Kovacic, so as a squad player, so that's that. So why wouldn't they be overwhelming favourites to well, they should be.
This is the best run. Like, you can say what you want in regards to the cheating and this, that, and the other, but look, I hate to break it to you, every single club at the top level in some way, shape, or form has cheated at some point in their career. Just hope this helps. But yeah, they are the best run club in the world in terms of the scouting, in terms of the turnover, in terms of the link from the top to the bottom of the club. They are the best run club in the world. And yeah, they've done this before. They literally did it in the off season. Got rid of Sterling, made Grealish the first choice, like most times, and as the replacement, they brought in Alvarez, who turned out to be insane. Or he was a replacement for Jesus, and either way turned out to be insane. They got rid of Zinchenko and decided to transition Ake to play the left back, and he's been incredible. And there's reports they might be going for Gvardiol, so sweet. Like what I said earlier with Stones, like they managed to do that. Like this is a team that the only thing that's stopping City from winning the Champions League next season is City. Is their own, like, it is just being stupid in certain moments. That's the only thing stopping City winning next season.
Plus, everyone's going, oh, what are they going to do? How's he going to get them pumped up for this? Well, first of all, in the domestic league, no one's done a 4P in the Premier League. That's one. And secondly, no Premier League clubs ever retained, like, gone back to back in Champions League. Like this modern Champions League.
I was gonna say there's only two.
Forest was the last English club in the 80s.
Oh well, there's only two teams I think in the history of the Champions League that have retained it.
Yeah, Real Madrid's the only one in modern day in the last 20 years to do it.
That's kind of wild when I think about it.
No, 30. I think it's 30 years. Yeah, since it went to the Champions League format, I think Real Madrid's the only team to retain it. The only team.
When did it go to
93,
the Champions
94,
League?
I think it went. 93, 94 season it went.
93, 94.
I don't think anyone's retained it.
Yeah, they're the only team in the history of the actual Champions League itself to retain it. And in general, they are only the 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 other teams have ever retained the European Cup or Champions League back to back.
Wow, that's some.
Oh, and Haaland
big facts.
Haaland
You got Haaland as well. Sorry, I forgot about that.
A year experience.
That's another thing too. Haaland is such a strange striker because you see some of the times. Well, we see it all season, right? But you see some of the times, especially like yesterday, where you see a ball, it's like, oh, that one's overshot, and all of a sudden you have Haaland in the air, like, wow, he actually made a chance out of this. What the hell? So
yeah, he's a good player.
He's a very good player.
That's all the best
very good
players do.
Yeah. So big up to Man City, big up to Epic Nin, who is a Man City fan, obviously, and also a Cement Mixer gang. So big up to you. Also, I forgot to do the shout outs for the members, but I'll do that at the end, actually. I'll do that at the end. But yeah, big up to Man City. And you know what? Inter, maybe next season. We'll see what happens. I got to give them credit. The fact that they got this far, I don't think anyone anticipated it. Everyone was thinking Napoli. So, hey, good for them.
By the way, don't get it twisted, everyone, as well. Like, it sounds like we're not giving praise to Inter. They were the better team in the first half. Comfortably the better team in the first half. Like, City had a lot of possession, but couldn't get, apart from the one Bernardo Silva chance, could not get close to him. Like, they couldn't get anywhere near threatening Onana. Into it 100 for the better first half.
Okay, so I want to touch on this briefly before we jump back into the Inter topic, but this was something that happened during our call-in show on Wednesday, and I just want to go ahead and touch up on it and see where we're at and debunk some things that may have been said. But N'golo Kante to Al Ittihad. Here we go. This happened on Wednesday during the stream. Medical test completed in London. 2-year deal with an option for further season. And we did discuss this briefly. Apparently, 100 million euros per season salary. Figure includes image rights, commercial deals with creative portfolio. That's a lot of money for N'golo Kante. But then there was a tweet that came out after the fact. Don't know how reliable this is, but Ahmed, I think, knows the answers. But Chelsea midfielder N'golo Kante planned move for Saudi side Al Ittihad is being stalled by medical issues. A club source confirmed. I don't know who AFP is or whatever, but apparently this is fake, right, Ahmed?
Basically, not exactly like fake, but essentially whatever happened with that so-called medical issues has already been moved past because essentially now he's signed for them.
Yeah.
He's got to be bagging £225,000 per day, I think, or per hour, something like that.
Jesus
Oh no,
Christ.
I think it's per hour. It's something
Per
to do.
hour. Yeah, it's a 225k per hour. So
Per hour?
Yeah. No, we worked it out the other day. It's he earns 1.6 mil a week.
Jesus, not bad for like 12 games a season.
I say he's managed to top like treble hit or not treble like five. He's got earning 5 times the amount that he was earning at Chelsea, pretty much, or over
His
5
name
times
is
the amount he was
huge,
earning
yeah.
at Chelsea.
That's so. And you know what's crazy is that Benzema is triple that, I believe.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Something similar. It's so mind-boggling to me. Like, I can't fathom having that.
You
much
know
money.
why they did? The reason why they're able to do this because
save it.
the Saudi investment fund put in £20 billion into the clubs, so that's why they're doing these crazy wages and stuff. So that's where the money's come from which they're doing it from.
So wild to me, man. It's just imagine having that. I can't even imagine it, to be honest. Like, that much money is unfathomable to me. But hey, if anyone deserves it, it is N'golo Kante. Still probably going to be driving Mini Cooper wherever he goes.
Hasn't he
being
upgraded
host-
that by now?
I don't think he can be driving a Mini Cooper in Saudi Arabia. I can tell you that one for sure.
Some
Fine. He's
Bugatti
gonna-
or Ferrari.
No,
gonna
it's like a sandy area. It's like a very sandy area. So usually
he's-
the cars have some height towards the floor. So I'm afraid not.
Gonna upgrade. He's gonna upgrade
don't
to
they-
like a Jeep Grand
I'm pretty
Cherokee
sure
or
they
something.
drive Bugattis and Ferraris and all that, like in Saudi Arabia. Still,
I don't know.
I'm very certain
I
I've seen like higher up people obviously driving around. And
Yeah,
it's
in the inner
like-
city, but the problem is the inner city is a very small amount, especially in Saudi Arabia. Most of the people like live on the outskirts, and once you get towards those areas, a lot of sand in the area. You can't like literally move that sand completely. So hence why. Listen, just quickly for everyone in the chat that's talking about the Fab tweet. It's literally
I got it already.
retweet. It's literally a retweet of what is literally. He literally said the same thing like 5 hours ago. Like it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. Yeah. Plus, don't worry, guys. You guys tell me in the chat. I'll integrate into the show. You don't have to worry about it. I am reading the chat and I am keeping up with as much as possible while things are happening. And I got Ahmed and everyone else here as well to tell me. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. But all right, let's move on to the next topic. And this is going to be the hot button topic of tonight, I think, is we got to talk about everything going on with Inter right now. Okay, so let's start things off with here. Let me minimize that. All right. So here and that. Okay. So we're going to start off with some tweets from earlier in the last week, just to kind of include this into the conversation. We're going to just lump sum it all pretty much, and we'll see where we go from here. So to start things off, breaking. So Chelsea are willing to offer Lukaku Vlahovic swap deal to Juventus. This is from Gazzetta Italy. Then we have another bit of news here involving Vlahovic as well. Chelsea has a concrete proposal for Dusan Vlahovic with Chelsea player exchange. Chelsea has proposed starting a dialogue with Juve, involving Romelu Lukaku, now on loan at Inter. But above all, this move seems improbable due to the racist chants Lukaku received, probably from the Juve fans when they were playing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but this is coming from Gazzetta, which Gazzetta isn't necessarily unreliable. They do call a few bit of news as well. But moving on, this was earlier before the Champions League final. Moving on to more closer tweets. Pochettino is ready to offer Mendy and cash to Inter to sign Andre Onana. This was reported a while ago, and we only get confirmation of this later in the week. There is a director at Chelsea who really rates Onana and tried to sign him in the past. This is, I believe, Win Stanley was the one. Who's the one that came from Monaco? No, Lawrence Stewart, right? Lawrence Stewart.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, Lawrence Stewart is the one that wanted Onana over at AAC Monaco, AS Monaco, and now he wants him here. I think for a goalkeeper and Chelsea, we have to wait. They need to clarify what they do with Edouard Mendy. Is the club signing Mendy keen on giving Chelsea their goalkeeper? I think this is what Chelsea will try to do. That's Fabrizio's quote right there. Simon Phillips. And this, we don't know how reliable this source is, but let's just kind of take it with a grain of salt, and maybe it's true. Inter Milan president Steven Zhang is determined to find a way to broker a new deal for Romelu Lukaku. Lukaku wants to stay at Inter rather than return to Stamford Bridge to try and resurrect his career under Chelsea and Mauricio Pochettino. And this was after the Champions League final that this was reported. We move on to Onana. In the next few days, Chelsea and Inter are holding meetings to discuss Lukaku and also the appreciation from Chelsea for Andre Onana. Inter won an important fee to even open negotiations. Inter are also looking for center backs. Main topic is Lukaku, but Chelsea and Inter have a good relationship, so they could discuss other topics in this meeting. Furthermore, Andre Onana is very happy at Inter and feels important, but we know Inter is in financial trouble. They will have a conversation soon. Chelsea need to sort out their own goalkeepers first. Mendy has a new agent, and he could be included in some deals. There is a director at Chelsea who wanted to sign him previously. That's another one from Fabrizio Romano. And the last thing I wanted to include in this topic is the Lautaro stuff. So Tom Roddy from Time Sport reporting here. Chelsea are expected to face competition for Real Madrid in their pursuit of Inter Milan striker Lautaro Martinez. His future is expected to be decided after Sunday's Champions League final. Okay. So that's pretty much everything in regards to the whole Inter situation between Onana, Lukaku, and Lautaro Martinez, who we are still linked with. Listen, I'm going to start off with Lautaro here. I don't rate Lautaro. I think he's a good striker, but I don't think he has a good striker IQ. I don't think he's consistent enough either. I think he's going to be as, just as unclinical as any other striker we've had before. I do think he has good finishing in him. I think he's probably better at finishing than Kai. Well, actually, he is better at finishing than Kai Havertz. But I just don't think the striker IQ is there. And we saw that yesterday. Some of the decisions that he's making in the final third are not the best decisions. And I think he had one opportunity that he just didn't make the most out of. A lot of times taking shots when he is better off taking a pass. I just don't think the IQ is there. And I want an intelligent striker. And then going back to Onana, it's looking like these Onana links are very strong after seeing Onana yesterday. And I never didn't rate Onana. I always thought Onana was a good goalkeeper. I just don't know if he's at world-class level, like I would say probably Maignan is, or you could even say Oblak 2 seasons ago, or even Donnarumma 2 seasons ago. But at this point in this market, it's definitely an upgrade from Mendy and Kepa, and he's definitely going to be a good keeper. Could potentially be a world-class keeper. We don't know yet, but we could see. Keepers' careers are very different than a player's career when it comes to age and how when they're at the prime and whatnot. And then on to Lukaku. I said it before. I don't need to say it again. I'm not a fan of the guy. I don't think he doesn't want to be here. I don't think having a player come to the team that doesn't want to be here serves the team any justice at all. It's not going to be good for the locker room. It's not going to be good for spirits. It's not going to be good for managing any egos that may arise from this. We already have a team that, only Enzo really that stands up for a fellow teammate when something is happening, and the rest of the team, they just kind of don't care. So there needs to be a whole change of attitude in this Chelsea team. I don't think bringing back Lukaku is going to help that in any way at all. And we saw what happened yesterday, guys. He did not have a good game. There's a reason he's on the bench. It's not been working out for him at Inter. I think if Inter want to keep him, if Inter would work out a deal, I'm willing to give Inter Mendy and Lukaku for Onana. Just take him away from us, please. I don't think I can't. I don't think we're in a position to ask for very much for Lukaku. So I'll leave it at that. What do you guys think?
How much? Wait, I was
let's
gonna say, how much do you think Onana's worth?
They already told us the price is between 42 to 50 million to get him.
So you think Mendy and Lukaku together? I don't know. I think he's worth like 40-50 million. Lukaku alone. If Inter like we still owe them money for Lukaku, right, for the sale. So they're getting that money as well.
I can't lie, write that money off. Just send it.
Listen, man, I'm gonna be extremely real, guys. I don't even know if we can go to Inter, man. We might have to start paying clubs just to get him on loan. We might have to do the pay the loan fee to the clubs, because that stink fest by Lukaku yesterday, man, is generational, man. That is Hall of Fame. In my opinion, that is Hall of Fame stinkers by a striker to come on and do what he did. He literally blocked his teammate, DiMarco, from basically scoring what could have been the equaliser the first time. The second time, the header that he shot, literally, this guy has been a striker for almost 29 years. You know, you would have thought by now he knows how to where to put the ball. You know, his icon is Drogba, so you know, you would have thought he learned from at least something from him. Brother just hits at the goalkeeper, bro. Doesn't even aim for a corner for that.
He had time too.
I
It's
think
not like he had time.
I think the reason for that is because he saw the keeper out of position. He wanted to head it quick as possible to like head it in the net.
What do you mean? No, there was no one in front of him.
No, but like the keeper wasn't in that position. The keeper had to move towards like the shot. Like
No,
the
he
keeper
didn't.
was out.
He headed it at Ederson.
He hit it at Ederson because Ederson moved left quickly enough. Like he wasn't.
No, he didn't. He headed it at his feet.
He wasn't there to begin with.
He headed at Ederson's feet. He literally was.
No, he did. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But Ederson actually moved towards that. Ederson was actually out of position when Lukaku was about to header it. That's why Lukaku was trying to.
Even if I grant you that like Ederson was slightly out of position and Ederson wasn't right in front of it, regardless, as a striker, like, you're trained to go for the corners. You're trained to go for the far left post or the far right post. He hits it straight at Ederson pretty much, or in the middle where Ederson doesn't have a chance to block it. Mind you, Ederson was having a howler of a game yesterday up until the last 5 minutes. But regardless, like, no matter how bad of a keeper you may be or how bad of a game you may be having as a keeper, you still got to like, you had time. He had time. That ball didn't come in that quick. Like, he had plenty of time to position himself and put that into a corner.
My point was like, he just wanted
literally.
To snap back. I'm saying he could have done better. Yes, he could have headed the button right. No shit, he could have done that. But like,
this one, Jez.
Look, he literally that's literally there was a whole goal, and he chose the side where the keeper was
because he wanted to snatch it. That's the reason he did it. He just wanted to snatch it. That's why he did. He didn't purpose.
Okay, then. Yes.
Why are you snatching at a chance?
Because he obviously thought he could head it quick enough for Edson gets there, but obviously he was wrong.
Where's your composure in front of goal?
And another thing, I thought Lukaku wasn't even that like the worst out of all the attackers. Martinez had more power than him. I thought that.
No, Lukaku
and
was
Dzeko was non-existent basically. No, I don't believe that. When Lukaku came on, they started to have a lot more chances because of Lukaku for me.
Chris, one second. Chris, let me just get this quickly, because what you're saying right now is absolute rubbish in my opinion. All right, and it's quite simple. He had the best chances and he missed the best chances, and he got in the way of ultimately could be argued to be the best chance in the whole game. So how is he not the worst player on the pitch?
Fair with the one when he blocked the shot.
Here's the other thing too. Like,
do you expect him to dodge it like as a bullet?
But this is the other thing I want to point out too. Like, guys, Lukaku wasn't the only substitute that was made. Inzaghi made drastic changes when Lukaku came in. They changed formation completely. So that is obviously going
to... They kept the same formation.
It seemed to me that they changed the formation a bit.
No, they didn't.
They changed the personnel.
Yeah, literally, they changed the personnel, literally. Because it just meant that DiMarco, instead of being a wing back, he became like a left-sided centre-back, which is what he did. And then Dumfries got replaced with Gosens. Gosens got replaced with Bastoni, and he became the wing back on that side. And then they replaced someone else with Dumfries on that side.
Regardless, I think all those changes, not just Lukaku. Like, if it had been just Lukaku, I don't think we would have seen that many chances. I don't think we would have seen that much of an improvement. But all those other changes caused Lukaku to be put in those situations.
On the watch along on Sarcasm City. Like, by the way, I just want to say, when it comes to Lukaku, he will never and should ever play for this football club again.
Yes.
But what we were seeing on the watch on, we were laughing about it. This brother in transition, I've never seen someone so lost in terms of what he's meant to do. Like he was looking around like he was supposed to be getting instructions from players on the pitch or the manager about where to go in a transition. This guy stinks. He's awful.
You know what's crazy? Don't hear my favorite quote about Lukaku. Yeah, is this quote. You know, I think I'm one of the best strikers in the world. You know,
I think I'm well classed.
Yeah. You know, alongside Robert Lewandowski, Karim Benzema, etc.
Harry Kane.
This guy said that, bro. You know, if you're that type of striker, you finish the chances when they come, and he couldn't finish it. This guy's got no source. He failed his country, Belgium, in the World Cup, and now he's failed his team, and he's failed his team. Simple as that, man.
This is the second straight European final that he's
third straight, man. It's third straight, bro.
This is the well. What was the one as well? Because it was the Europa League final, and then the Champions League final.
And then there's also the Super Cup as well. The Super Cup.
Yeah, I forgot about the Super Cup. This is the third straight European final he's been in.
He was like 19 then.
Oh man, listen, we keep in tabs.
Yeah, but you're literally taking the context where he was in really good form. He was scoring goals.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, of course he's gonna back himself. Bro, he's literally gonna back himself then.
Chris, can you stop glazing, big man?
No, like he can back himself. Cool. He can back himself. Like, what the problem with this quote is when you have performances like you did last night or the other day. That's what the problem is. When you have performances like that.
But that's the other thing too.
He still scored the same amount as Valverde.
But this is the other thing too. Like this is the other thing too that people seem to miss out with Lukaku. This isn't the first time he's done something like that. It's not the first time he's blocked the goal from a teammate. He's had a howler like that.
Yeah, the first one where he could have got out of the way. Yeah.
Final, like what was it, 2-3 years ago for Inter? He literally scored an own goal, and in the last minute, a guy has a shot and he blocks it, and it was going in, and he literally blocked it. He did the same thing.
This guy's positioning is fucking whack.
He did the same thing in two straight European final appearances. He's terrible. He's awful. He should never play for the club again. I'm half tempted to say just terminate his contract, get him gone. This brother is shit. And also, I don't want to hear a single person tell me that he should come back and play games for this football club again. Everyone that said that, don't worry, your cooking session is coming. If you said it,
it's depending who we have, all right? If we have I'm having Lukaku back. I already said this. I stick to that. Like I don't want Kai Havertz up front. No more.
I'd rather play a whole season with Brozier up top.
Yes. I'd rather not still.
I
don't rate Brozier. No, we have to go for a natural striker, and then we can like do whatever.
What Marshall said is facts, by the way. I'd rather play next season with Havertz. I dislike Havertz massively, but I'd rather play next season with Havertz.
I can't. That guy don't score. And at least I know with Lukaku he can score goals. Like
does Lukaku?
He does score goals. He scored like the last time he was with us 15 goals. This season he scored the same as Vavic in the Serie A, and he's played lesser. I'm pretty sure still with his injuries. Like the guy does score goals. He still scored more than Kai Havertz this season.
Are we seriously comparing Vlahovic, who's clearly had like a down season, who has not been cooking at all?
Oh, Lukaku's had the up season this season.
Let's be real, bro. Okay, this guy is not it, man. End of story, man. End it. But Chris, man, this
I'm not saying he's either.
It's not gonna be it, bro. I would rather play like these young guys, develop them over Lukaku.
Why do we need the centre back? We already have a centre back. So why do you need Lukaku?
Got a good point.
Like the level of disaster class that was, man.
Progression.
Oh my god.
Stop horrible progression.
Oh god. Yo, Vlahovic was injured as well, bro. Listen, Chris, bro.
Well, they both had injury seasons and they scored the same amount, but people want him. How does that make sense?
Because one of them is younger and is more developed developed, unlike Lukaku, who's literally a transition merchant. All right,
so
that's what Lukaku
How
is.
much would he cost us, Vavic as well? Like 60, 70 million?
Why didn't you go find out for yourself, mate?
I'm taking Vlahovic over Lukaku every day, ending in a Y.
The only way I'd take it if we do a straight swap somehow for him. Like I wouldn't want to pay 70
as
million for that guy.
As long as Lukaku never graces the football pitch at Stamford Bridge again, I don't care.
I get it. He's hated.
He's just, it's not even hate. It's not even hate. I'm going to be completely honest. He's just shit.
I don't know how you can hate on someone when he's putting in performances like that, Chris. Like,
I don't think he's like the worst. I thought Martinez is like a lot worse than him last night. And where Martinez shot straight at the keeper, he should pass to Lukaku, and maybe Lukaku would have done a lot
It's a good
better.
thing he didn't, because Lukaku would have put it into Rosette.
Yes. Yo, man. Listen, when your strike partner is not trusting you and trying to go for himself,
You
there's a
know,
reason why.
actually, no, scratch that. You know for a fact, by the way, if Martinez passed to Lukaku, that ball's going straight back to Martinez past his head. Bro, he's putting it back in the same direction it came from.
We don't know for sure because I know.
Why would you separate
Gucci.
the Chuckle Brothers? Let them be together, man. They met
Exactly,
each
bro.
other.
Let him cook
Let
up
him-
Italian
let
poison.
him
Chuckle
be
Brothers
exactly.
over there, man. Coochie, thank you for your super chat, but how dare you, man? $1.99 super chat. Hippopotamus and Kai would
No,
cook
no.
together. Stop it. Stop it.
He's spitting, bro. They will cook together at Inter Milan. Absolute facts. They will cook together
Yeah,
at Inter
sure.
Milan, bro.
Yeah, sure. But like, this is the other thing too. Like, sure, if you had spoken to me at the beginning of last season before he joined the club, I would have been all for Lukaku. He looked good, but he hasn't been anywhere. Actually, beginning of the season before this one. Sorry, beginning of the 2021 season. I was all for it, but he hasn't risen to those heights since. And we saw it this season. We saw it last season with Chelsea. It's just we were sold a dream and it didn't work out. So we move. We found out the hard way he's not the striker that we thought he was.
Yeah, who
So,
was selling us that dream? Scott.
I was one of those two.
I
was
mean,
Lewis, and there were others.
I was
You were
Lewis
Harry,
as well. I was
Andrew.
for it too.
Oh,
I
we
was
were.
for it too.
See,
I like the idea.
I
But
maintain
Yeah.
myself. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Completely.
don't worry, we've got things to cook you as well. You're not safe.
Yeah, you're not safe either. I did want Haaland. Haaland was the first choice, but it was just looking more and more unrealistic. Now, in hindsight, I kind of wish we paid the outrageous amount of money for him because look at what happened. But we probably would have ruined him too. 'cause
Probably,
we're
yeah.
Chelsea.
First of all, it wasn't outrageous amount to him. We paid 60. We paid 60, but the whole family of Holland is now owning the whole Norway because we get so rich, man.
Also,
He's
I
dead.
can't lie, to be fair, I don't think he would have got the amount of goals, but like, this is a guy who's now worth what, 200 mil at
Yeah.
least.
So
in-
now
in
130 or
markets,
150, however much
Exactly.
Amino
It's right
Raiola
now.
wanted at the time, looks like a deal.
Considering, I say, Osimhen's being valued at like what, 120
It's
million
120
euros,
to
like,
30 and 50.
and Haaland, I'm sorry, Haaland's like another level. So yeah, it's at least 200 mil he's worth now.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask if Haaland went to Chelsea, how many goals do you reckon he's getting in the Premier League? He's
More
scored,
than
what, 33?
Lukaku.
what did Lukaku?
Yeah.
No, what?
Do you think he
I'd
scores
give him
like
20.
15?
I'd give him
20?
20.
Yeah, I think 20 as well. In all comps, he definitely has 20.
I think
probably.
he would have scored more chances than City at City.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he definitely
City-
gets scored more at City than he does here. But yeah,
I'm just
I think
thinking,
he-
how much could he help us?
No. I think he'd score more for Chelsea this year if he than he scored for City.
Are we creating more chances than City then?
I don't think they created that many chances. To be fair,
Once De Bruyne came off, Haaland was really quiet.
I
So that-
think
why
I think
before that too?
I think they create. I don't know
He
what
had two
stats
chances.
it is like.
Two
They how many chances
pretty
they
clear
create, but they do create enough. Like
Yeah.
Haaland's
I'm
always just
trolling.
roaming in that box.
I'm trolling Chris. Just
Don't worry.
I can't
Chris.
tell you, man.
Lukaku, don't worry, Chris. Lukaku will stay at Inter or somewhere else, and you don't have to worry about this anymore. We'll get a good striker, Chris. Don't worry. It just won't be Lukaku.
Well,
But-
I hope we get a good striker. But
That being said, on the striker topic, on the topic of a striker.
I thought.
All right.
What's his name?
Sorry, I was
Coming.
having a little bit of an aneurysm there.
I thought Kai was coming when you said on the
Oh.
stripper.
Are we not going to touch on the
Kai is coming. On the what?
other two Inter players?
You know what? This is why you're here, Scott. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
should
touched
talk about Onana. Yeah, we should talk about Onana.
Oh, just before we do, I want to touch. Could you touch on Martinez? I just want to touch him earlier. My reservation
hold the
with
touch in.
Martinez has nothing on. Had like even before the game yesterday wasn't on him as a player because like you talk about like being clinical. I don't have any issues with that. Like his conversion rate. I don't know how good of a stat it is in terms of in world football, but just on like a pure base level, his conversion rate, he's the joint 8th best striker for conversion rate in the world right now, or in Europe's top 5 leagues. So I don't really have an
He
issue
can
with that.
definitely finish. I know that.
My issue comes from a systemic point with him where you saw it yesterday. He works in a 2. He is not a solo striker. So unless you're going to get amazing link up from him and Nkunku, and
Nkunku.
Nkunku is basically going to play as like a number 9 as well. it don't really work for me. I'm going to be honest. The things he was doing as well in the game yesterday, which annoyed me, or didn't annoy me, but I was like, that will annoy me as a Chelsea fan, is he was doing the same thing Havertz does, where at times he's vacating the area and going out wide. And it works in a 2 because you have, especially with who he had next to him, because he had Lukaku or Dzeko next to him. So it kind of works. As Chelsea, you can't do that because there's no one else is going to be in the box unless, as I said, you're going to be having Nkunku and it's basically going to be a pairing. So from a systemic point, I don't think it works at all. On the Onana thing, bro, that game yesterday, I was kind of already sold on Onana, but that game yesterday was that sorted it.
Eye opener.
Yeah, that sold it for me because I knew this guy was incredible with his feet. I didn't think he was quite that good. Like he's hitting line-breaking passes as a goalkeeper, which we've got midfielders who can't do that. And this guy is doing that as a goalkeeper. That was incredible. But it's not even that. It's our biggest worry, or my biggest worry as a goalkeeper for him was I felt as though he had a couple of error-prone moments in him. None of that yesterday. And I know it's only one game, so it's a very small sample size.
He did
but
a couple of mistakes, give away the ball.
There weren't massive mistakes.
No,
They weren't punished. They weren't punished.
I'd say the Edison ones were worse. I would say Edison was given ball away in stupid areas. But
what about that goalkeeper from AC Milan? I heard he was like
he's the guy
more physical, like in a box. Like I think
that's claiming you mean
Chelsea.
I have some news on him that we'll touch on.
Maignan
he's
is
another
still
option.
my top choice, but the thing with Onana now for me is it's like if we get Onana instead, I'm not pissed. It should be one of the two. If you go for Maignan, and if it doesn't work out because he's going to cost too much, because AC, just going to ask too much.
You can use Onana's price to drop it on the other one, like saying, "Look, you're not the one fish in the market."
Or you just go and get Onana for the 42 or whatever it is million he's worth. Maybe you can swing a Mendy in that or something, or who knows what else. He was incredible last night, and he, as I said, for the goalkeepers, especially now, Tottenham again, Raya. It looks like those two, Maignan and Onana, should be the focus for goalkeeper. And I worked out something else because I had a worry.
That shot from what's his name from
Holland.
Foden. Oh look, Princess and the Beauty. What's the name? From Foden. No way, Kepa keeping that ball. No way. There's no way that Foden shot Kepa was saving it. There's no way.
I was impressed with when Holland shot it, and it was his knee, but there was also his hand. How strong of a hand Onana had from that shot as well.
That's what most goalkeepers have. It's just I said that's what most goalkeepers have, Marshall. It's just we're used to.
That was Kepa. His hand would have folded and it would have gone behind the net.
Yeah, his hand would have broken, man. His hand would have broken.
Onana's the easier deal.
Yeah. The other thing as well. Sorry, Andrew. The other thing as well, which I saw someone on Twitter brought this up, and then I realized this is initially I thought, we might be a bit in trouble because the African Cup of Nations. He retired from international duty, so we've got no issues. Unless they sack their coach and get someone else in between now and the African Cup of Nations.
How can he retire?
It's the same thing with Ziyech did.
Yeah, he fell out the manager. So unless they
get a special category.
From the World Cup, Alex. Remember he went home from the World Cup.
Yeah, he got sent home.
Yeah.
So he's retired from international duty. So we won't have to miss it for a month or month and a half, whatever it is.
I think his distribution is still was very good. It's like having an extra defender out there, who can just spray the pass out. I mean, I can't remember a misplaced pass from him really.
There was a couple, but it wasn't punished.
But there wasn't any other. But the way he was able to find someone just in the middle of the pitch, just bypassing.
It's like what's his name? That kangaroo guy from Australia that likes Kepa. That's what he thinks of Kepa distributions.
Yeah. It was like a golf shot, some of his passes yesterday. There was just a placement of them, just landing. Plus, I think it's the easier deal to do because, like I said, Inter are going through some refinancing thing, or they're trying to do that this summer. So I would pounce on that deal right away before they even find out, because they've signed some young goalkeeper who's not going to obviously start or anything like that. But
they still got Handanovic, to be fair.
No. They're both 27. Another thing that you might missed it, that the other goalkeeper from AC Milan raised the concerns about Maldini leaving. So he's kind of an unhappy person over there. So I don't know if that could be potential, is using his leverage against AC Milan, dropping the price.
I don't think they'll drop the price. I don't know if you test the waters though. How much that's going to be probably a more expensive deal to do on it. And by the way, I don't mind paying that a lot for an actual goalkeeper, a good goalkeeper, because they're worth that. I'm not one of these people that dismiss goalkeepers. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
I think
they if you get a good goalkeeper, they can be a.
I mean,
7.
I think the reason why quick. I think the reason why is AC Milan goalkeeper is easier. They could use Chelsea players, and they after a couple of them.
Well, that's the same with Inter, though,
on that topic, real
No.
quick, let me
Inter
just
try to
transition this because we're already on the topic. Might as well. Here,
I think Inter
let's
is
talk about it.
I think Inter is they want Chelsea players, but they can afford it. AC Milan want Chelsea players, and they can afford it. But
what's his
not
distribution like though? Because
I don't know. I wasn't working in
Yeah, I
the
don't
house
know,
with him.
I don't know if it's as good as Onana's, but I think it's still good. Also, on the Onana one, like the one that comes to mind just on his passing, did you see the comp that's going around? There was a pass he did, right, where he gets the ball, he looks up, takes his time, plays an inch perfect pass through the middle of the pitch. I think it was Barella, takes out about 5 City players.
yeah, that's what I was
I
talking
saw
about. That was when in the second half he did that.
Oh,
Second
so
half, he just drilled it. He just drilled it and just placed it.
Impressive.
And that's what actual distribution is. And like you said, that's not what Kepa does. Kepa does a little chip pass into like the fullback, and people call that distribution. No. If that's a piece of piss, for David De Gea, that's a piece of piss to do. Like it's about hitting it. Can you hit it long, accurate, into a guy's feet to be able to turn like into space, or to be able to go 1v1 against someone? Like it's not just about a chip pass over someone.
So I have some tweets here regarding Maignan while we're on the topic. Chelsea initiate contact over the possible signing of Maignan from AC Milan. This is coming from L'Equipe. And then we have another tweet. Maignan has, for a reported 45 million euro fee, is absolutely impossible. No way, not even 50 or 55 million. Okay, so Fabrizio Romano reporting that this is probably going to be a lot more expensive than what's
He's around 80 million pounds.
Yeah, I would say so. And that's what I expected as well. Chelsea have informed AC Milan of their interest to sign Maignan. The negotiations would not be easy as AC Milan does not intend to give up this player. Bought for 15 million euros, Maignan saw its price triple on the market. Nothing too scarce. Nothing too scare Chelsea, willing to put the price on the Frenchman. So it's coming from L'Equipe. Milan's sacking of Maldini could change the negotiations between parties over Mike Maignan's new deal. So yeah, and for those who don't know, we will talk about this with the Ruben Loftus-Cheek stuff, but with the Maldini and the other sport director, I think that got sacked, things have been kind of up in the air with AC Milan their transfers. But I think this would be my first choice. But like Scott said, I wouldn't be upset if we got him or Onana.
Huh?
Not everyone.
No,
I wouldn't be upset if we got Maignan or Onana.
I agree. I think the thing as well with Maignan with this price is like it's what Andrew said a bit earlier. Like when it comes to goalkeepers, like look at what we did with Kepa was stupid, but look at what Liverpool did with Alisson. Like you pay that money for a guy like that because that's a position of need in terms of like that's an important position. Like it's not like it's a fullback, right? Or it's not like it's a where you can sometimes get away with going for a cheap option, like what we did with Madueke. Like you can kind of get away with that. Or for example, like I know we didn't do that with Cucurella, but Gusto, for example, like that was fairly cheap in the grand scheme of things. You can get away with that in certain positions. Goalkeeper, you can't always do that. Like we've seen it. We did the cheap option and it worked for a short period of time, and now we need to upgrade on it because it's no longer good enough.
Yeah.
So for a guy who, for me, I know it's not for everyone, but for me, he's currently in the top 3 goalkeepers in the world right now. He's a multiple title winner in 2 separate countries. Like he's now the full national team goalkeeper as well, starting national team goalkeeper, and is an improvement on the previous national team goalkeeper. Like that, you have to pay this sort of money for that type of guy.
Yeah, goalkeepers, great goalkeepers are in very short supply at this moment in time. I'm not like I said, I both goalkeepers are for me above a Raya from Brentford, extremely above a Raya from Brentford. Like I know Raya's got good distribution and stuff like that, but I'm not too sure about him overall. I know Spurs are in for him. Apparently, we're monitoring him, but I just don't. I'm not infused at the moment. When I look at him, I'm not infused by him. That if we buy him, then that'll be up to Poch and those to train him and to make us all like believe in him and stuff like that. But if I'm picking between the two, Maignan and Onana, then I don't know. I think I'm just going to use recency bias because I just watched Onana last night have a very good Champions League final.
I just think it's more possible.
And I think it's more. I know what Alex is saying, and I do agree. Like,
yeah, I agree with Alex too.
We'd offer them, but I just think it's in terms of like with players and stuff like that. I think we can do the same with Inter, but like whether it's another loan or something, I don't know. But I just think we can do it with either club. And also, but I don't know. Then this new Italian management that's taken over AC Milan. I don't know if because they pulled out the Loftus Cheek deal, so he's not going there. I know there's rumours about Pulisic possibly going there, but I don't know, man. Whatever's the best option.
I just think since we have Lukaku and there is something of leverage there with Inter, and it's an opportunity for us to get rid of Lukaku, I think the easiest and probably the safest way to go is if we can get rid of Lukaku and get a goalkeeper out of it. It's two birds, one stone.
Yeah, Lukaku does take a lot out, including wages as well, like a huge chunk in wages, like over $350 a week. So, and remember, I think he took a pay cut to go on loan there at Inter.
He did.
Right?
Yeah, he did. He did.
His wages last season. That's why the loan fee was only about £7 million or something like that because they decided to take it on. So, I don't think you could lose the either choice really. Do you know what I mean? Either choice would be a huge improvement in the goalkeeping areas, in my opinion. Huge. Oh, they wanted Chalobah as well.
Listen, Mike Maignan is for me. Mike Maignan is the main one for me. I feel like he's a very good shot stopper and that sort of stuff. Yeah, maybe he's not as good on his feet compared to Onana type, but I value the shot stopping a bit more than in my opinion, than the passing out for the back. As long as you're okay at that.
You see the shot stopping. See, I go the opposite way because I expect great goalkeepers to be good at shot stopping no matter what. Yeah. Sure. So my thing about him would be his distribution, his handling of the ball, and his decision making, like coming for crosses and stuff like that. I value that more than shot stopping because David De Gea is a fantastic shot stopper. Yeah, an absolute one of the best shot stoppers you've ever seen in Premier League. Right, fantastic. Some of the saves he's done. In other areas, he's extremely lacking. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like Ramsdale's like a good shot stopper as well, and maybe lacking and stuff like that. But that's why I say I go the opposite way. You know, I never went when Peter Cech or Lautaro was in goal. I didn't really pick up the shots of them because I expected it of them. Do you know what I mean? Like that. So I expected them to do that. So it's the other areas where they go, okay, how are you going to do when you come out for a cross? Because Mendy's a fantastic shot stopper as well, or was when his form he was in. So it's one of those. Like I said, I don't think you can lose either way. It's what they see value for money, essentially, which is now what we're doing. So.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think we're in a good situation when it comes to the goalkeeper. We're linked with two really good ones, and it looks like one or the other may happen. It looks more so that the Onana one's going to happen. We'll find out in the next coming days because they're going to have a meeting now that the Champions League is over. But I won't rule out what Alex said.
I don't think we're closer to buy any of the goalkeepers. I mean, we're as far as with get any kind of goalkeeper within the month.
Possibly. But at least we're being linked with these guys, which that's more than I could ask for. I'd rather these links than... I mean, I don't want to put down... what was his name? Mamadiashvili. Mamadiashvili. I don't want to take him out of the picture either. I mean, I've heard very good things about him as well. But I can't complain. These are the only two goalkeeper links. I can't complain.
The only thing I want to hear is the fact that I was talking to Goonie today, and we both took I don't care about the links. I really don't. You contact creator for you, yes, show whatever. For me, I just want to see the shirts. I want to go to my old place. I see the shirt, I see the player. At this time,
Yes.
I'd rather have a Links point where the players needs to go away.
Yeah.
I'd rather
I
have a
mean,
Links those, but even those are not actually going through.
on the type of links that Alex does kind of like, we'll go ahead and discuss Kai Havertz and see what's going on with this guy. There's been a little bit of progress, but not really on the whole Havertz saga to Real Madrid. So this was earlier last week. Harry Kane to Real Madrid, irretrievably off. Madrid will no longer pursue him due to Tottenham asking for 116 million euros, which, I mean, that's fair. He's a really good striker. So, I mean,
Goes
how much you got to pay for him?
Irretrievably, or whatever it said. I don't know.
Maybe we should look at that.
Irretrievably, whatever it is.
Just say it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 100% like a translation. Like it's one of those where it's just a translation.
Yeah.
Possibly. Fabrizio Romano, Real Madrid are not intention to pay 60 million plus add-ons in euros for Kai Havertz. He's appreciated by board and Carlo Ancelotti, but no plan to spend that amount of money. Havertz's situation will be discussed in the next days. Chelsea expect more clubs to approach them. We move on to the next tweet. Kai Havertz will not be forced to join a club offering the biggest transfer fee if he prefers to move elsewhere. It is unlikely that Real or any other club that he would be interested in joining will pay more than 50 million pounds for Havertz. Coming from Matt Law. Anything else? Okay, nope. And the last tweet here, again from Matt Law. Arsenal are thought to be monitoring developments for Kai Havertz. Chelsea's asking price, which is believed to be 70 million pounds, has so far put off potential bidders. So my opinion on this, real quick before you go, Andrew, is I think Chelsea are just trying to negotiate a good price. They probably want somewhere over 55 to 60 million.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. I think it's going to be it'll get up to 60 million with the add-ons included. It's the same with the Mount deal. We'll get to 60 million.
Yeah. So anyone getting frustrated about this, it's just how negotiations work.
I can understand from Chelsea fans, we should get as much money as we want, and I understand that, but let's be sensible. Let's negotiate. Let's meet in the middle somewhere, but still get a good, decent profit. Because you're not telling me that when we paid someone 72 million pounds to someone that in 3 years they've only had like an 8 million pound drop off in price, because that's crap, or somebody or 12 million drop off in price. Actually getting 60 million for this guy would be an insane deal to get if you were going to get 60 million pounds for him, given the fact that he's really stagnated and really hasn't improved much at all, if at all, in anything like that. So I don't believe the Arsenal thing. I think I said the other day on Lewis's stream, I think someone said, I can't remember it was that, why would Arsenal be interested? Where's he going to play for Arsenal? Who cares where these players play at their other clubs and why the clubs want them? Just be glad they want them. Do you know what I mean? Get them out the door. It's their job to figure out where they play and why they want them. Our job is to make sure we negotiate correctly and get the money for them. There's no doubt in my mind they did not see Kai Havertz leaving this window. I do not believe they ever thought about Kai Havertz leaving this window. But don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
I don't necessarily agree with the asking price, but at the same time, I understand we have to offload a lot of players, but it doesn't mean we got to just have a flash sale and clearance them out and just first offer that's on the table, take it. We should be asking for a reasonable amount.
I agree, but the new thing now not a new thing, but I think it's been heightened in the last 2 years or so is the add-ons that's included in deals now. Whatever clauses. I mean, look at the things we got for Hazard. We're still getting paid for him about 4 years later. You know what I mean? So it's a new thing that's put in. So it's just about with Real Madrid, you don't even have to put if he wins the Ballon d'Or or something. No, it's just if you win something. If you win the Liga, an extra 5 million. You win the Champions League, another 5 million, and stuff like that. With Mount, it's the same thing. If he plays this much, or they win a cup, or they finish in the Champions League, but it's just It's just little things like that just need to be added on at all. None of this like Ballon d'Or crap. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, listen, I know it doesn't. I know we don't give a shit because it's Champions League, but you look at a resume.
No. The only bit about this that is true is the Champions League winner. He's not proven anything internationally. He's just as bad internationally as he is for Chelsea.
Does
and
Caicedo plays for Ecuador, right?
Yeah,
I say Caicedo's proven
he's a
more.
proven international player as well. Then, so I don't understand. What do you mean proven? Because he plays awful for Germany as well. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't just, I don't. Because like, you can have the same thing about whoever plays for like the smaller nations. He's proven international player. Proven international players shouldn't come into a domestic. A club transfer. Who cares if they're a proven international? It doesn't matter.
It depends on the level of international, though, because I just meant I mentioned it earlier with Maignan.
McAllister, Enzo,
But it's like with the but it's like the Maignan thing. It's like this is a guy who's now the starting goalkeeper for France, like one of the best, one of the best international teams in the world, and is not only starting, has already proved in the few games he's played as the first choice that he was better than the original, like the guy he replaced. He's already improved on what they had in that position. This is a guy with Havertz who at the World Cup on the biggest stage got replaced, got dropped for a dude in the Bundesliga, for a relegate or a mid-table team in the Bundesliga who's having a great season because he wasn't good enough.
And Caicedo's Caicedo, right, he's really gone on this year, but he's already proven he can play at two different positions in the middle of the pitch and right back. Kai Havertz hasn't proven in 4 positions that he can play in the league. Do you know what I mean? So it's like consistency. So I think what it is that Caicedo is a player in that position that there's not a lot of well-known that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's him, there's Rice, there was Ugarte wasn't even really that known. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone's going to put Amrabat in the chat, but let's be honest, no one knew about him before the World Cup. And stuff like that people are focused on. And that's what Brighton want for him. Brighton want that for him. That's their right to do so. And that's our right to do, to ask for prices. But it's all about negotiation, right? Just because the club says something doesn't mean it can't be negotiated. That's why it's like, Caicedo, 80 to 90 million. Well, you can get that with whatever add-ons or whatever loan players. I'm not saying Kovacic. Also, we go into that debate, but like there was a rumor about sending maybe that Italian midfielder, was it Casually on loan there or something like that. That could be something because stuff like that. So
the problem as well with
Kai Havertz, I just go, man. Seriously, just go.
I agree, but the problem with Caicedo is I do agree about the 1 year thing. The issue that you have with that is we have already shown with Cucurella, who plays in a less important position. Again, it was like he had a couple of seasons, but like it was really one season where he broke out at Brighton. With what we did with Enzo, with what we did with Mudryk, where like
Enzo had 6 months.
No, I say Enzo's been playing football for I want to say 2 years.
He's only been breakout though for the last 6 months, if we're being honest, really. From Benfica, really. Could be anyone.
Oh yeah,
let's face it, casual football fan didn't know about Enzo. Maybe until Benfica, and definitely not until the World Cup. You know what I mean? So it's like that, really. You might be, if you had enough time and saw he played before, that's fine. But the casual fan only knows about Enzo for the past 6 months.
Oh yeah, 100%. But that's the thing with what we're willing to do and other teams are willing to do in terms of buying. Like, look what Liverpool did with Nunez after one season of Benfica paid nearly 100 mil every. Like, when you've got teams doing that, because I do agree about the 1 year thing, but it becomes harder to like be able to be like, no, we're not going to go for that when you've got other clubs that are willing to pay that for like Arsenal.
You're taking a risk.
Yeah.
Well, why did we go for Kante? It might be an extreme issue.
Exactly.
It's not the same, but I know he won the league. But Kante wasn't known.
That was a 1 year thing. Literally,
it was a 1 year thing.
It was a 1 year thing, and that's
actually, being honest, Scott, it was a 9 month thing. For being honest, it was 9 months.
He played like in league, Defence League Division 2.
We signed him literally probably the opening week of the transfer window, if I'm not mistaken, like that, or we signed him before because he had a buyout cost of 32 million. So let's face it, man. No one knew about. You take the risk, right? You take the risk of going. Do I wait because I'm not sure if this is just a 1 year thing, but then I risk someone else taking him, Yeah. Or do I punt on him and go, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to take the risk right now. Transfers are all about risk.
We did that.
Yeah, we did it. But we're going to probably do that. We're going to probably do it with two midfielders in Caicedo and Lavia. We're probably going to do that with those two midfielders this summer.
No, but we went the other. What I was saying, Andrew, we did the other way. We did the other way of waiting. And the player we did that for is now playing for Real Madrid starting.
Yeah.
And we did it. No matter what.
And he moved, by the way. Sorry, Andrew. He moved to Real Madrid for double the price we were willing to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, and no matter what you think about whether we could have pulled off the deal or not, if you think about paying the extra stuff like that, we didn't do it for Haaland, right? Whatever you think, there might be extra stuff. You go, well, actually, no, it became too expensive, but you miss out. You know what I mean? You miss out.
True.
And if you don't try and pull the trigger, you never know what you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? So, and also, I keep saying this. Players aren't beginning their careers now at 22, 23. They're beginning at 18, 19. And they're not willing to wait anymore. Do you know what I mean? They're not willing to wait in line for 2 or 3 years out on loan and then come back and then do it. They want to start now.
There's too many players nowadays that, like, I was like just flicking through Wikipedia just like for 3 different footballers one night this week, and there was a guy I saw that used to play for Norwich, now plays for Hibernian. He was at Norwich for 4 years, never played a single game for them, spent 4 years on loan. Like, players don't want to do that anymore. Players aren't doing the Lucas Piazon where they come to a club, have 9 loans at 9 different clubs for 9 years. Like, they don't want to do that anymore. When you've got the likes of Caicedo, you've got the likes of who else? Like, I'm struggling to think of players like Olise for less of a better example. But you've got guys of a young age being trusted week in, week out. You've got guys like Ugarte being made captain or like second choice captain of his side. Like, people aren't waiting anymore. People aren't sitting around waiting for their opportunity to come now. Like, people see they have the opportunity to play. They see they have the opportunity to make it at a club. So they don't care where they're playing, as long as they're playing. Wijnaldum literally came out with a quote today where, like, he said, I think he said today, he didn't know what the situation was at PSG or Roma, and he doesn't care where his next club is. He just wants to play.
Well, exactly. And someone's put in the chat, I think it's Eugene put in the chat, that for the price of Caicedo, we can get Gabri, Veiga, and Samuel Ricky. Now, sorry, pardon my ignorance, I have no idea who Samuel Ricky is.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know who he is.
Gabri Veiga, I only know because we were linked to him last week.
Yeah, we'll talk about him.
And someone told me that he's more of a really 8 type player. And Caicedo's not an 8, he's a 6. So they're not the same. So that's what I mean. You're misprofiling players like that. If you're going to... Any midfield from Spain that comes close to a 6 or is a 6 would be Zubamendi. Do you know what I mean? Like that. But we're not linked to him whatsoever. Yeah. So I just... It's a need, right? It's a need. That's the way they price Caicedo at 80 or 90 million, because at the moment he's a well-known 6 defensive midfielder. That's why they price him. If there was like 12 of him, you probably wouldn't be priced that high. You'd probably be half of that at this moment in time. And we also got to remember the transfer window is crazy since Neymar went in 17. So it's like, I think now it's like double or triple of what they should be and stuff like that. So.
I think also part of it. Yeah, I just want
quick. I'm going to transition this, and I'm going to let you take the lead on this discussion, because we are going to talk about Caicedo and all this stuff, updating him, and then we'll get into Lavia as well while we're on the topic. But with Caicedo, I have some tweets here. Moises Caicedo has not agreed personal terms with anyone. He's considered options, and Chelsea are 100% in the race, while Arsenal's interest remains alongside that of Manchester United. Chelsea is convinced he's perfect for their ideas. I heard from sources that the price will be 70 to 80 million pounds, not 100 million, which was originally reported, because of the pact between Caicedo and De Zerbi. He wants a new opportunity, and Chelsea is leading that race. I got 3 more tweets here. Chelsea are pushing to strike a deal with Moises Caicedo and have not yet ruled out launching a simultaneous move for Declan Rice to bolster in that midfield. Moving on to Latvia. Earlier last in the week, we had this reported Chelsea open talks to Romeo Lavia. This is coming from Bobby Vincent in Football London. And then Darko reporting Romeo Lavia spoke to Poch on the phone. Poch has green lighted the move and is a huge fan. Saints want 45 to 50 million. I wonder if that's euros or pounds before they sanction a move. And I've tried to include players as now the Saints want pounds. Okay, so it's pounds. Newcastle United have also made inquiry and are following developments. So, Ahmed, talk to me about Caicedo. Talk to me about Lavia. What do you got to say, bro?
Okay, so I just want to say quickly, I think part of the reason why a lot of this stuff has skyrocketed is because of like the other big clubs, you know, they're not keeping the eye on the ball in terms of scouting. I think part of it also is that, especially because these guys are such young talents, raw talents, you can't develop them under big clubs. But you know, if you're a big club, I think they've obviously now decided now they're gonna do it by obviously taking them to, like, you know, the multi-club model, take them to their Portugals or whatever club they own, so they can develop over there. But in general, obviously Caicedo, you know, he's a good player. Of course, I'd want him to come to the club, but at the same time, if Brighton do keep pushing for a Cole, or if it's like a huge amount of money, do you as a club want to pay the 100 million for him? Or if you're if we're smarter, we have other alternatives that we can come and get in that, you know, are gems that, you know, maybe people aren't going for, and they usually work at Chelsea. And I think that might be a better option.
Are you referring to Kone and
No, not him. The example I would give, for example, in recent times, like Benoit Badiashile. Like Badiashile is a good example of this. You know, he was no one knew what was going on with him unless he played Football Manager 2020, literally, and then you literally bought him for 30 million and he's literally banked. Sometimes, you know, it's also about trying to get those medium to low ones, which, you know, are unknowns, which can work at the same time, in my opinion.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, you mean like get like a Lavia for like 20, 30 million, whatever we can get him for, and then get like an unknown DM as well, like, so see how that works as well. Like, so we get 2 DMs for a price of like maybe 60, 70 million, hopefully.
Yeah.
Instead of just going for Caicedo for like what? Caicedo's gonna cost what, realistically, 90 million, around that range.
I'm gonna let you into what I think is gonna happen here. The Caicedo probably is gonna be valued at 80 million, but because they want Levi Colwell off of us, they're probably gonna try to, you know, they're gonna probably put in a little premium on top of it because we're not giving them the player. So it will probably be for us somewhere around about 90 to 95 million, I think, in total package. I'm willing to put that on there.
I think it'll be anywhere from 70 to 75.
We'll see.
That's what it'll be, and won't include Colwell. We'll include the midfielder.
You think that we are going to include Colwell in it?
No.
Andrew?
I think we'll include the Italian kid online. That's Casually.
Casually?
Yeah, I think we'll include him online. Also, we'll just say we'll get to, if you want 90, that's fine, but we're not going to give you 90. It's going to be add-ons like that. That's what it's going to be. So it'll be stuff like that. Because with the Colwell situation, I'm neither here nor there. All I need to hear is like multiple reports say that Poch wants to work with him, and I'm done. So, and I'm done saying that's fine by me. Caicedo, the Rice thing, I don't think I think will be a very long transfer for Arsenal. Because I read the other day that Arsenal don't want to pay the 92 million in cash. They want to pay like 80 million plus add-ons. I think West Ham even with add-ons, want to say that it's like 100 million or over transfer. So, and usually sometimes transfers between, especially English clubs, for an English player take a while. That's why I think like the Mount one might take a bit longer to Manchester United because of that. But I just think the Caicedo one will get done for 75, and then we'll pay like 45 for Lavia and stuff like that. So we'll end up spending about 120 million pounds on 2 midfielders.
On the transfer thing, I will say from a Chelsea, on the transfer thing, from a Chelsea perspective, in my opinion, I don't think this is going to be a transfer window where we get things done quickly, and I mean that for incomings and outgoings. I think it's going to be something that takes a for the incomings especially, and for the outgoings probably as well, it's going to be a series of long deals. I don't think this apart from the Kante one, but that's because he was literally out of contract. I don't think it's going to be a case of quick deals. And I think as a Chelsea fan, if you're expecting things to happen quickly, I feel like you might be disappointed. If you're expecting deals to get done quickly over a short space of time, I think you might be disappointed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but also I don't think we should expect a lot in anyway. Like 4 players max, so it's like don't expect that. We should expect more. Every Chelsea fan should expect like twice, double that, or 3 times as many players going out. I don't think we're in for Rice at all. The only other club that's going to come in for Rice, I believe, is Man City. Are the only ones who could come in for him. But that all depends on the futures of Silva and Gundogan, whether they leave or not, in my opinion. But also, they could probably offer Kelvin Phillips to West Ham as well as part of any deal. Whether West Ham want him or not is the difference. So.
True.
How much is even Calvin Phillips even worth now? 20
Well,
million?
they signed him for 45, I think they signed him for.
Maybe 20 million tops.
So at least 35.
You reckon?
Yeah, they'd want
He's
at
been
least
barely
35.
used.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to remember, no matter if a player's been barely used or not, it's heavy English tax.
Yeah. Also,
Navy's
it's what he
maximum.
can do. Like even the times he has played for City, he's looked decent. So like he's still a decent player. It's not like a player who has barely played, and when he
injuries this season, it's just injuries that's done him.
Is it? I thought Pep just didn't want to play him. In all fairness,
No,
he's barely played this season. Like,
also
was it just training? Was it training injuries? Because I don't think he's had a game injury.
Yeah, it was training. I think he got injured like really soon after he signed for them.
Yeah, because I've not seen him heard him get injured in the game. Like he's barely played.
I'll see you later.
All right, see you later.
Later, Alex.
See ya.
Nice new setup.
What?
I like your new setup.
Thank you.
Alex, a proper streamer now. Chelsea streamer. Let's go.
It's very
Later,
impressive
peeps.
what he's done. Very impressive.
Later, Alex.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the midfield saga is getting a little spicy. It is getting interesting. We'll see what happens with Caicedo. If Caicedo doesn't happen, I don't think it's the end of the world. Yes, in an ideal world, I do want Caicedo. The price is a little tricky. I get it. But we'll just have to see. I think there are other options out there, but we do very much need to get the ball rolling when it comes to the midfielders. And part of the reason is because of our outgoings. And starting with this outgoing here, there's a bit of an update on the Mason Mount situation. So let me go ahead and share this with you guys here. So Ben Jacobs from on Give Me Sport reports or said, it's simple scenario for Chelsea. They'll either take the fee because Mason Mount informs them that he wants to leave, or they'll try to get him to extend in order to protect his value, and because Mauricio Pochettino wants him to stay. And the next tweet that came out earlier today from Fabrizio Romano. In the last 2 to 3 days, Manchester United sent positive messages to Mason Mount. They are going for him, but have told him to wait. So, like we had mentioned earlier with the whole Kai Havertz thing, I know the price for Mount is pretty high. Man United saying they don't want to pay more than 50. I think the Man United said they don't want to pay more than 50 or 55 million pounds for him. But it seems like regardless of that, regardless of the news coming out that Chelsea is standing strong and firm on their asking price of 80 mil, I believe, that they're still trying to negotiate something. They do want this player. So maybe if we can get 60, 65 around that price, I think I'd be content with getting rid of Mount. I mean, 50 million, I'd be content with getting rid of Mount. But obviously, the club want to get something out of him. And I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think another manager could get the best out of him.
Yeah, he wants to leave as well, apparently. So that's another reason, maybe get rid of him. He's not happy at Chelsea.
Sure.
Chelsea not really looking at him as the future. Chelsea, the ownership and him has just gone to spiral down. Mason Mount he is a decent player. He's a good rotational player. He can come in and out. I don't think he's gonna start every game for United.
Let's have it right.
Yeah, as Johnny probably thinks, he probably gonna start every game. be the main guy. But Mason Mount is a good, like he is a decent player, like to have in your squad. I think. So.
Waiting for the Man City and Bayern Munich bids for him. Just waiting for
Wait, Man City bid for him as well. What they have?
No, I'm just waiting.
There's
Just
rumors. The
apparently
brown, the non-brown envelopes.
There's no
Fucking
like I
middle
think he could suit United, but I think he suits Liverpool even more. But like he's not going to Liverpool, is he? Because
yeah. He suits Liverpool more, but his weight, his wallet suits Man United.
They got someone better though, so it works.
He's
Yeah,
not
they
worth
got
300k a
McAllister.
week though. Yeah, but he's not worth 300k a week. That's the one thing for sure. Like he's like a 200k around that mark player. I think he's a solid player. He's not like overly good or overly bad, like as some people say. He's just like in the middle. I think like he can get better again. What is he? 24.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like he can still get better. He can still get worse. I don't know what's the future for Mason Mount. But yeah, like I would just move him on. Like he doesn't want to be here.
Yes.
Maybe you can sell into Inter.
Before 7 hands, whatever. I don't know how to read your name.
It's meant to be balanced.
You're 100 balance. You're 100% right. Yeah, it is balance. My dyslexia wasn't working that day. I can't read that, but yeah, you're 100% right. He's 100% in my head, rent free. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious if he'll actually concede on trying to get 300k for the sake of making a move. Like, I wonder if that's like literally make or break for him. Like, even if United don't offer him 300k, if he'll like not negotiate with them. I'm curious.
Well, the same time, it's not going to be an issue. So clearly, they're willing to give him what he wants.
Marshall, check the Casually
Chat.
Twitter thing.
I don't think Man United will offer him 300k off the bat. Like I feel like he has to earn a bit, and they might start him at like 170k or something. And realistically, he should be humble and just take it. Like maybe have like a 3-year contract, 4-year contract, and accept that for like 170, 180 or whatever. And then if he improves, then Man United's gonna want to sign an extension and give him like 250, even 300, depending how good he is. He's not a 300k player.
He's not going to get. They're not going to. Trust me, they're not going to pay him 300k. They're going to pay him anywhere between 200 and 250.
Jesus Christ, really?
And he should
I thought this was fake, Andrew. Fuck.
No. I think he's no. This is a Manchester United who overpaid players.
Yeah.
Okay. Ten Hag wants this guy as well. Okay. Ten Hag wants this guy, and they already proved they paid 90 odd million for that and the fidget spinner. So you know what I mean. So they paid Sancho. They paid Sancho 375k. Yeah. They paid Rashford 250k. You know, stuff like that. So they're gonna pay between 200 and 250k for him, no problem. And also their contracts aren't incentivized or affected by. They won't be affected by in and out of Champions League football. They won't do that. So that's why as well. And
you know, United's got a second highest wage budget. Just quickly, guys. Second highest wage budget. So just to know.
Yeah. It's standard. Wait, who's the highest?
Man City.
Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's because probably Haaland boosted the hell out of it.
And De Bruyne.
Yeah, De Bruyne deserves whatever he gets as well. Like he's been killing the last like 5
So
years.
it's not. So at least with them, it's not just one. It's not. It's also because they also had like a large squad. Remember last season as well. Before they lost Zinchenko, Jesus, and the other guys as well. Now, so
Jesus.
They pay highly on some players, but a lot of the players like around 150 mark. I'm pretty sure.
Just saying.
No problem.
Standards.
So we have a little bit of breaking news that Andrew just showed me. I originally had a tweet similar to this earlier when I was prepping the show, but it was in regards to Inter, not regards to Inter. It was regards to actually I think it had to do with Inter. But yeah, it's being rehashed, and now it's a more, I guess, credible source. So let's just bring this up just so we can give it some light here. Andy Dillon exclusive. Chelsea are ready to move on from ready to move for Onana, and Koulibaly could be used as bait. That's such a weird way to say that. As bait in a deal, as well as Romelu Lukaku. Poch is a huge admirer of Onana. This is coming from the Sun. Hey, I mean, if it's true that Inter are interested in Koulibaly because they are looking for a center back, right?
Yeah.
It could work out. And listen, I don't necessarily think Koulibaly's a bad center back. I think maybe this season, if he stays, he could be better. I don't know, but I'm also not opposed to sending him back to Italy where he was at his best, and maybe it works out for him at Inter.
He'd have to
The
take,
league-
I think he'd have to take a wage cut, I think.
He'd have to take
Oh,
a
yeah.
wage cut.
Plus, I
And the
think-
league probably suits him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I think their best defender last night. I can't remember. I can't pronounce the name properly. He's actually
Is it a Serbi or
Yeah,
Bastoni?
he's actually on loan from Lazio. He's not even their player.
Oh wow.
So I can whatever, man. Just whatever you want to use as bait that the players that we don't want. I don't care. Just Mendy, Lukaku, and Koulibaly. I'd send all three there. You know what I mean, I really don't care. I think if he wants Onana, then yeah, go for it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was talking about the Mount thing. I don't know if you guys saw the stream with Goonie and Darko. Darko seems to have some insider information on like most things. I don't know if he's 100% correct, just to your opinion, but he's saying that the relationship between Mount's father has broken down. So it's like it's not anything on Mount, like the club and his dad is completely it's like the bridge has gone now off that. So Mount is 100% leaving.
Yeah, he switched his agent anyway as well.
True. Yeah, we did talk about that earlier in the season. He
Yeah.
switched agents because
He switched his agent, which is usually on more of a sign of that he wants to leave and stuff like that. And then his dad's got involved. His dad's like been trying to probably get him out for years. You know what I mean, wanted him out before he even broke into Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Which is fine. That's all good. I have no problem with that. You loyal to your family. That's all good.
yeah, there's
You know,
nothing wrong
that's-
with it. You want what's best for your
that's the
son.
problem.
I get it.
That's the problem, though. Family sometimes mess stuff up, right? Look at Harry Kane's brother. Got him to sign that 6-year contract.
Yep.
So that's all.
I also think like his dad sees like the stuff on Twitter more than he does. You know what I mean? Like
I think so,
the
too.
abuse and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's because he's on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
he
That's
gets
'cause
it
he's on
though.
it. Yeah.
I heard it's
No,
the
I
same.
I bet he's got a burner account and he goes in spaces.
Probably.
I heard the same thing with Rice's family too. Like them in the club, they're not happy. Like,
Hey man, do you know what? Here's the thing, guys. Mute or block. How about that? So sick of this. Like, you don't
Or
have to
honestly,
you don't have to actually go on that. Get some. Here's an idea. Why don't you just get someone to manage your Twitter account? You know
yeah.
what I mean? Or something like that.
It's
Just
not like
mute
they
and
can't
block.
afford it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But that's the other thing too. Like, I think this is a rule for me that goes outside of football. I think whenever family is involved with your work, it most likely tends not to end up well. It tends not to work out very well. Like, yeah, sure. Like maybe it helps the family out and maybe they don't have to pay you or whatever and whatnot. It's a cheaper alternative, but you're seeing what happened with Declan Rice. You're seeing what's happening with Mason Mount. You see, even to a certain extent, what's happening with Pulisic and his dad. He doesn't work together, but he's got a mouth and he goes off and gets interviewed and says things that affect Pulisic and what he's going on in his career. I just think you really can't. Like, the special case, and not even that much of a special case, was Haaland, where Haaland's dad was involved, but it was Mino running, like, doing everything for Haaland and his agent.
I just want to address balance. Thank you very much. I hope you like the video and subscribe, by the way. I take it then. You've never criticised or slagged their foot bad. If you haven't at Chelsea, I'm calling you a damn liar to begin with. Okay, that's what I'm calling. Let me just preface this. As soon as they cross that white line, I want them to. Us here always want them to succeed. Okay, so I want to put that out there as well because I know people are hard of hearing sometimes in chats. So just let that be known. And by the way, Mount's done some good things at this club, but I'm not gonna be upset by an average baller leaving. Sorry, that's an
Let's have
oxymoron.
it right.
That's an oxymoron in itself. An average baller. Sorry, an average player leaving this club. Oh, so you have. Okay, so why did you? So you're a mug then yourself then.
Oops.
You're a mug then yourself. Then. Okay.
Hold on.
What did Pulisic do, man?
Wait, Pulisic, for
Contradictory
obvious
mug.
reasons.
Contradictory
Wait,
mug.
for obvious reasons. Is it because he's American?
No,
For obvious reasons.
But you see, he will say this. He will say there's different reasons. We just don't like him. We've got an agenda. But he'll come out and say, oh, sorry, I don't know if it's a he. I do apologise. It might be a she. Whatever. They will say there's but I've got legitimate reasons. I always back your own stuff like that. Cobham probably will come back.
Yeah, exactly. So no one's slandered Mount though, as far as I'm aware, on this panel today. Like
I've said he's a good player.
Like, bro, hey,
I'm just friending him right now. You know, Mount's a shit player, guys. How about that?
Sorry, if you want me to, I was gonna say, if you want me to, I can, bro. We can be here for like another 2 hours, and I'll just talk shit about him.
Where were you when I was having a go at Kai Havertz? You didn't say anything. So how come you were saying Kai Havertz? You didn't say anything. I don't understand.
He didn't slander TT though. I don't think he did write a book.
I think he's talking about Lukaku and Pulisic slandering.
No, he talked about it. Pulisic talks about him.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're gonna so sorry. So you're not gonna hate on the guy though that's trying to hold the club to ransom and trying to rinse them of all the money that they have.
He earned it.
I earned it. Oh, okay. He earned it. So by that same token, did Pulisic not earn the right to criticise Thomas Tuchel, seeing as he scored the goal in the semi-final?
Oh yeah, he proved it wrong.
Because that's apparently why he scored and what he said in the book is he ignored his instructions, he scored the goal or whatever it was. So
the best soundboard in all of YouTube, by the way.
I think that's like honestly a big obviously sometimes I could take it to extreme, but Mountain's not a bad player, correct? But I think the worst thing about is his fans, man. Like that's what I don't. Because Scott, I remember I tweeted, right? It's crazy how Mount has a banner before Kante. I think I tweeted that like 2 years ago. You should have seen the abuse that I got.
Oh, Shabby, no. I can go one further, bro. I quote tweeted. There was someone I saw tweet about Mount, and this wasn't the year. I think this was. When was this? I can't remember if it was this season or last season. It might have been this season. So I quote tweeted a tweet about Mount, and they were talking about him turning into a legend, him being a legend, or him being a legend at Chelsea, like in the future. And I said something about him not being in the top 50 players to ever play for Chelsea, and the amount of hate I got from Mount stands, bro, when he's not in Chelsea's top 50 players, and even if he is, he's towards the bottom. So who really cares?
Glazing from Mount is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
I just
Chelsea all the time. No,
I just think for me, in my opinion, especially with Mount, it's just too much, bro. I think it's just time.
It is too much.
It's time to part ways, bro. It's the same thing people used to, like obviously, I like Jorginho, but Jorginho also had this similar situation where it was too toxic.
You're absolutely right. Balance. They did have an offer, and they took it off the table. The offer was put there by Bowley and Nat before the infrastructure was put in, and then probably when the infrastructure looked at it and went, "Are you insane?" offering him this or whatever it was, and actually went about putting in their incentivized deals and stuff like that. Now you're going to say, you might say, well, they gave one to Reece James. That was before the infrastructure came in.
Andrew.
And also that's incentivized as well, that contract. So you think it's incentivized contracts and whether we're in or out of Europe, basically what they're saying is you have to earn now this money. It's not about what you've done previously for the club. It's what you've done. And don't bring up Sterling because that's a different thing.
Also, Andrew, can I ask you a question? Didn't this offer get taken off the table as well after he came back from having a piss poor World Cup?
Yes, he got replaced by his older alter ego in Jordan Henderson.
That's what I'm saying, Scott. It's like I think the people are there to make business decisions and they're not going off emotions, footballing decisions. So they look at this guy. They look at this guy and say, okay, this guy is replaceable. Like Reece James, you're not gonna find quality as good as Reece. It's gonna be hard. Mount, I could find you. Like Scott's mentioned this a lot too.
Oh my God.
I could find how much amounts are even better. You know what I mean?
We'll talk about someone that could replace Mount in a very similar style very soon.
Which one?
Go ahead.
Well, I think it's very telling.
I got you.
I just want to say quickly, I think it's very telling that the board clearly had agreed something, but once the actual sporting guys came in, and they looked at the deal within the World Cup, something changed in which they decided to renegotiate.
Also, he's playing shit. Apart from a four-game purple patch run against Villa, the Milan games and the Wolves game, he's been crap. Chelsea have been crap this season. But the problem is when you're going into a contract negotiation, you need to have something to stand up on it, and his form has been utter crap.
Hey, Andrew, people don't want to hear it, and the fact that I'm saying this of all people, Conor Gallagher's had a better season than he has.
I knew he's going to go there. I knew
He has actually had a better season.
I can't lie to you, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
No, hold on.
But it's the truth, though.
I'm so confused right now. No, because I agree, but earlier in the season, when we were still in Frank Lampard's season, I was saying I'd rather Gallagher than Mount. Where was this energy?
No. That's not a good thing that he said. Gallagher. That's how Gallagher.
No, that's not a good thing, bro. That's why I said that's surprising. You know my feeling from Gallagher.
Also,
I've been saying this for a while. Gallagher's been better than Mount.
There's a myth and a lie in the Chelsea fan base that Mount's had a lot of injuries this season and been missing for a load of games. He last played in April for us before he had this injury and surgery and stuff like that. So let's not say he's been out since January or February and stuff like that.
To be fair, listen, I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it is possible he's playing throughout with that injury and that complication all season.
I know mine was you get this because I've heard he's had an injury, he's not played a lot. He played. Even with Potter was leaving him out, but he was still in and out of the team and stuff like that, and he really only stopped playing till middle of April or something like that.
He played a lot of this season.
Also, to answer David's question, yes, which isn't a good thing.
Yeah. But, let's go on. Let's go on to the. I do want to go on to the next topic in regards to our football club, our lovely football club, and because we could talk about Mason Mount till the cows come home. And by the way, if you are still here watching the show, make sure you are smashing that like button. It does help us out tremendously. But I did want to move on to talking about Ruben Loftus-Cheek, what's going on with this deal now. So it's gone a little cold, unfortunately, for unforeseen circumstances. So let's go ahead and discuss. Chelsea are waiting to hear whether or not AC Milan will go ahead with the signing of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He had been poised to complete a move for around £15 million, but Milan has sacked technical director Paolo Maldini and sporting director Frederic Massara, who had negotiated the deal. We move on to the next one. Loftus-Cheek's AC Milan is getting colder. He did not convince the management due to an investment issue regarding age. From DiMarzio, by the way, which is it's kind of a little bit of a nail in the coffin.
I'm gonna take Ruben Loftus-Cheek, man. Listen, guys, Saudi Arabia, particular guys. Listen, man, this guy, he was a top tier, young talent. Obviously, an injury hampered him, but Tuchel, we rose him back. Can play multiple positions for you. I think 15 million, deal we put in front of him, for contracts. You can take him, man. You can take him. But on a serious note, I'm not too worried about Loftus-Cheek. I'm pretty sure more other clubs are probably going to come in for Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
And it's probably a blessing in disguise because a lot of players are not happy with Maldini leaving. Yeah. I think he had a good rep with Leao, Maignan, and a couple of players. Next year can be a shit show and shit.
Does anyone know exactly why he got sacked?
It's because of the season. They weren't happy with what happened this season, and they put the blame on him.
Yeah, it's also because of differences in terms of money. That he was nearly sacked, or he nearly left the club last summer, but didn't. But then they had a different he wanted them to spend money, and I think he was told, or I saw a report or something about either he was told or given 50 million as their transfer budget. It's what?
Yeah, what are you gonna buy with
it's that? Why they actually lost Chernobyl, Do you know the reason they lost Chernobyl to Inter was because of the money and the wages, by the way. That's why
at the end of the season they started losing to some bums.
I'm surprised Spalletti didn't, not Spalletti, sorry, the AC manager did not get sacked because it was bad, bro. Like some of the teams they were losing to, it was quite bad indeed.
It's unfortunate too, because I agree. I'm not too worried about it, but to me, it just seemed like a really good move for Loftus Cheek, simply because you have Tomori there, you have Olivier Giroud. There's like a familiarity there, like
Marshall,
what's up?
they said the AC Milan is not the only club interested in him. Like,
Yeah.
Actually, there's I think Lazio. He's joined up from Lazio. Sorry,
I was gonna actually mention Lazio. I remember last year there was links between him and Lazio.
I'll be real. They're not paying 50 million for him. They don't have the fees like that.
50 million. Why is? But wait, why is? Oh, you said 15 or 50?
15, 1-5, of course.
Oh yeah, 15. 15 doesn't sound that. 15 is reasonable.
No, because a lot of these Italian clubs they don't have that level of fees to pay for. I'm pretty
But
sure
I heard
does not have.
It's not just
Brighton got
not just
40.
Lazio.
Yeah, because they got the Premier League deal. The deals in Italy is not great, and there was a lot of their clubs are in debt. So the wage budgets are very small. They usually get players for like 8, 9, 10, like 7 million. So getting a Loftus Cheek for 50 million is a huge investment for a club like them. I don't think they're gonna go up to Loftus Cheek.
That is true. 15, we take it for granted because 15 is nothing to us, but the teams are struggling. But I heard some newly promoted English like one of the newly promoted clubs that's
Nottingham
coming
Forest is
in
in for Choya. Yeah, I know Nottingham Forest is in for Choya apparently.
Nah, it's I think it's like Luton or something, one of those teams. Like those teams that's coming out.
Even Luton though, Luton don't spend that much. Like if you actually look at Luton's actual wage budget, how they spend and how much.
But in the Prem now though, don't they get a boost?
It will go up a bit because of the Premier League. It will go up.
It doesn't matter. They usually aim to balance the books. They usually aim to make profit.
And Ahmed, you get like they don't have to pay this right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus the money they would have got from the final, the playoff final, the richest game in the world.
How is it the richest game in the world though? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Because I looked at the views on it. It's not like that super.
As in they get they get the most amount of like the money they make on that game is the richest game in the world in terms of what they make on that game.
Yeah,
the team
like they
it's
make
over
more
100 million.
Yeah, how is it more than a Champions League final though?
Like look at Nottingham Forest though.
That's up to UEFA. That's the different thing.
I say like I don't know. Like I just know it is. I don't know why that is.
It's a championship. It's a playoff, and it's more than Champions League.
So wait, do Nottingham Forest got rich owners?
They've got the owners.
Oh, because
that guy owns a lot of Greece.
They spent a lot of money
when they came.
That owner owns like a major shipping business in Greece basically, and he makes a lot of money off of that.
Oh, good on him.
No, let's not say good on him. He's a bit of a shady guy as well. Like,
he's
it's not great.
I mean, aren't they all?
To be fair,
his stuff is if people Roman stuff was bad.
He's got the dude that brought the gun onto the pitch in Greece, is he?
Yes, I think he's one of the. No, it wasn't him. It wasn't him, but he was. He did something like a bit crazy like that. He did something a bit crazy like that, though. That's what I'm gonna say.
Jesus Christ.
You know what else I forgot to bring up? Like I think like why they telling Mount to wait because Man U are kind of in uncertainty with their owners right now, and I think Ten Hag, the money, like I think money's tight over there right now. You know what I mean? He has like a limited budget to work with.
Javi, they're not in any like sort of confusion about their owners. It's Ineos all the way, my friend.
Yes.
If that's happening, Radcliffe. Hey, let's prepare.
Because I'm watching on Twitter and it says Qatar is back in.
Ow!
I guarantee. I'm not willing to bet money on it, but I'm fairly sure. I'm about 90% sure they end up with Radcliffe. And when they do,
it seems politics, right?
Just a side note on the United takeover. There's no news from Ratcliffe sides anymore, like the last few weeks, because they don't have to release any news whatsoever. It's all been the shake. So that would make me believe that they are very confident in whatever they offer that the Glazers are going to take, because otherwise we'd be hearing more stuff about, well, Ratcliffe's going to do this and Iniesta's going to do that. We barely hear anything at all.
All about the sake.
It's true. It kind of reminds me of our takeover process, even though we're
God.
different
Yeah.
circumstances. Like a lot of like fake like guys are saying, "Oh yeah, we put up a bid." Like a lot of public PR and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
I just
never
wanted
were
to
probably
say-
anywhere close. You know what I mean?
If
I wanted to
Ineos-
say quickly.
Okay, go on.
Oh, just before, I'm just gonna say quickly, especially like these bids and stuff. Even if these guys like what I think it's like they're saying now, this week comes the new deadline and stuff. Even if whoever it is comes in, they don't have enough time in the transfer market to even implement stuff because they still have to go through the ownership ways and means, then the other stuff which has to happen. So that's even gonna take even more
Yeah.
time. So they're not gonna have enough time to do what they need to do anyway.
Is it like
So-
validating the funds and stuff you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Also-
gonna take. Go ahead, Scott.
I was to say on the ownership thing on this comment, like Ineos, and which is the company that Ratcliffe is a part of, have taken over 2 clubs. Both of them have
Oh,
gone
I've
back.
seen this.
I know the Swiss
Both of
one in
them have
particular.
what?
because
Both of them have
Well,
gone
no.
backwards. When Ratcliffe and Ineos took over Nice, they were 5th. They then like have consistently finished around 7th. And then the club in Switzerland they took over. When they took over the Swiss club, they were in the top division of Swiss football. They then got relegated and never got back to the top division.
Yeah, and I think the it's not that Jim Ratcliffe per se is a bad owner. I mean, I don't know anything about him. I think the biggest issue that United fans have with Jim Ratcliffe taking over is that the Glazers will still be involved, and they want to stay as far away from the Glazers as possible.
But the thing is, they're not even looking at him. He's
And
not
they
done a
want
good job.
Qatari owners. Let's be
Yeah.
real. They're acting all earlier than that.
I've always maintained, I don't necessarily think they need Qatar owners. If they'd gotten someone even of like medium amount of wage, it's fine because the United brand carries these guys. He's been carrying these guys even without even when they had the Glazers and post Alex Ferguson. As long as they had a go ahead, Scott.
United is the perfect example and the perfect counterpoint to everything that's been said this past day about City in terms of money. United is the biggest example or the biggest argument against money wins in football. No, it doesn't. Money on itself does not win in football. Money spent well and money and infrastructure is what wins in football. United's problem is not money, it's infrastructure. That's their problem. Their infrastructure is
Yeah. Because I
That's
feel like
terrible.
I feel like even Pep enhances that. City have money,
No.
yeah, but they also have a fucking world-class manager.
He does, but that's because his fingerprints are all over that infrastructure. Like he's like they obviously got the guy he worked like they've got the scouts, they've got the sporting director that he worked with in Barcelona. Like his fingerprints are all over the infrastructure. So that's what the problem is with with the United, and Ineos ain't fits in that, my friend.
It's almost like let the football people run football. Sorry, Marshall.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I just want to go on to the next topic because we have a few more before we can call it a show. But yeah, let's get an update on what's going on with Kovacic. So
I'm gonna have to head out for not Florida, sorry, Marshall.
do your
Have a
thing,
nice one,
Ahmed.
man.
You have a
All
good
right.
one, Ahmed. Guys,
You
check
too.
out Ahmed's channel down below, okay? So yeah, pretty much on Kovacic. I don't think it's really news to us, but now it's more coming from a more reliable source. So Felix Johnson reporting here, Mateo Kovacic's Croatian media today. Everything is leaning towards leaving Chelsea after 5 beautiful years, but in football, anything can happen. I have one more year in the contract with Chelsea. Season was very bad. City is a top team. They deserve to be in a final, and that's all I can say on this topic. I don't know what is going to happen. At the moment, I'm just focused on Croatia and Nations League. And then right here we have Fabrizio Romano reporting. Mateo Kovacic has now agreed personal terms with Manchester City after advanced talks already revealed last week. Kovacic wants to move. Next step has to be between clubs as Chelsea and City will discuss fee after UCL final. Chelsea open to sell Kovacic. I'm sure we'll get a very reasonable fee, and I'm sure City will pay for it. I think he is going to fit like a glove in City. Dependent on, I don't think he's a direct replacement for Gundogan. Maybe more for Silva than Gundogan. But even then, like, I think he's just going to be a good, solid starter for Man City. We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know what you guys have to say. I mean, I think we already kind of discussed this, but now it's coming from Fabrizio, so it's looking more and more likely that he is leaving this summer.
I think it's a good move for him. He's going to do really well there. Like depending on how much he's going to get game time. Actually, what am I saying? Pep rotates that team to the nth level. So he'll get game time. He's going to have a good time there. I wish him nothing but the best. With most of these players that leave, to be fair, I wish them nothing but the best. Even the guys that haven't really performed, your Ziyech's, your Pulisic, your whoever else is, like most of these guys, I wish them the best. But yeah, like it looks like it's going to happen at this rate. It's just all about getting someone else into replacing him. Like that's kind of the more important side of it. Like, yeah, it's good getting these guys out, but you've then got to replace them, especially in the midfielders.
Yeah, and that is kind of worrying. Is that yeah, we're basically with Kovacic leaving. That means Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic. You know, that midfield three that was a big part of that Champions League run is all basically gone. Which it's fine. Like these people have this nostalgia that we're getting rid of all our Champions League winners. Well, I mean, we started doing that after we won our first Champions League too, and no one seemed to bat an eye then. I mean, these players do age; they do get old. They're not going to be here forever. They do have to go eventually. Would I have liked to gotten midfielders first before we let them go? Then, yeah, I agree. I am a little worried that maybe we'll fall short on the market when it comes to getting replacements for these guys, but we'll have someone. We will get people.
Marshall, do you want to know something that I just had a look? Would you like to take a guess? If all goes to plan in terms of outgoings, I'll say that.
Sure.
If all goes to plan in terms of outgoings, would you like to guess how many of the Champions League squad will still be here come the start of the season?
I believe it's 2.
Three.
Chilwell and Reece.
And Silva.
Oh, yeah, Reece.
Oh, Silva, true. I guess you can count Silva, yeah. He was in that game and then he got injured.
Every other player has either left or is being pushed out of the club and is looked to leave. The only unknown in all of that is Kepa. But
I think
the other player is either left or is leaving.
It's crazy. I think this like symbolizes us as a team. Like we've won the Champions League, yes, great run, great win. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. But in the league, we've been crap for like 6 years now. Since we last won, we've constantly underperformed. Yeah, so it's just like now those players that have been here, yes, they won the Champions League, but it been needed a reshuffle, and a lot of those players, it's like players from different managers, so it's like they never really complemented each other because yes, they can do a role, but not everyone plays together. You know what I mean? Some people play a certain way. Like you feel me? I feel like Jorginho is a brilliant footballer in my opinion, but you need to surround him with the correct midfield. I know he had a relationship with Kovacic, but it's just like the rest of the team kind of didn't fit around each other, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair. And to be fair, with what I was saying, it's not like a lot of these guys shouldn't have been moved on. Like, realistically, when you look at that squad, a large portion of it was not great. It's just wild to me that in, 2 years? No, 3 years. 2 years, however long it was. That most of that team has basically been ripped apart, which is good. Like, it's been needed. We've needed a reshuffle. We've needed a reset, a rebuild, whatever buzzword you want to use. We've needed it for a very long time. And it's happening. And it also means that we get some of the useless waste of space we currently have in the squad out of the club. And yeah.
It was very much needed.
Yeah, and I just look forward to the day that, or every day that I see the Here We Go and I see Chelsea mentioned.
And you know what? Not only was it needed, but it was a big wake up call last season with how we finished in the league and how we got knocked out of the Champions League and our performances completely dropped after that. We almost didn't make top 4 when we were like 10 points ahead of the 5th place team for top 4. So yeah, it was just it was a wake up call, and this season especially too. It was very bad. So we'll see who we replace it with. I have faith that our scouts will do good work. But hey, Kovacic, I do wish you the best, man. He's done magnificent things for this club, and despite people hating on him because of his lack of GA, I never judged Kovacic for that, anyways. So we move on to the next topic, which is remember how I mentioned earlier? I think we have a replacement for Mount. Well, Let's talk about it. Ugarte and Veiga. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, who live under a rock, the Ugarte deal fell through. And he's going to PSG. It's pretty much, I think it's a here we go now. I'm pretty sure it's a here we go. Pochettino suggested not to do a madness on Ugarte. He supported the decision not to make another proposal, as that can lead to internal problems if you go over the value of players. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. I'm just going to say this right now. Whether it's true or not, I'm inclined to believe that as a result of damage control, maybe Chelsea put out this statement. And again, we don't know exactly what the true wages are, whether PSG actually offered him 10 million a year or Chelsea still had the bigger offer on the table and they got in a little bit of trouble because of the whole minority stake situation. But I'm inclined to believe that this is damage control from Chelsea, just to calm people down, and that no, it's Pochettino that didn't want to continue because of the wages. But if it is true, then I gotta respect Pochettino, and I think the experience at PSG taught him a lot about wages and egos. So this could be stemming from that. So I could see where it is coming from Poch, but I feel like it is damage control on Chelsea's part. As for Poch, immediately after this, he suggested this player. Not necessarily sure how it correlates, but I do appreciate that rather than pouting and crossing his arm and getting all upset about it like we had with Tuchel when players didn't work out, Poch is coming up with other solutions. I respect it a lot. Or at least it seems like it is. So we got Guardian Sport reporting Chelsea have entered a race to sign exciting Celta Vigo midfielder Gabri Veiga and are likely to sell Kai Havertz after being made aware of the German's desire to leave. Looking into the next story here from Jacob Steinberg. Gabri Veiga has emerged as one of the best young midfielders in Europe. Chelsea face competition now from Liverpool and Barca. Gabri Veiga ranked third for one-touch passes in La Liga last season. And then we have breaking. Mauricio Pochettino wants Gabri Veiga, who has a £34.4 million release clause. Chelsea are prepared to push hard. I have looked at this guy a little bit. He's not a DM. He's much more of an 8. He can, I guess, play the DM role more like similarly to like how Ruben plays the DM role, more of a just dribble the ball up the field. He's got some good physicality. He does have a lot that reminds me of Mason in the sense of the half turns and just, the energy, the pressing and such. But I think what I've read from people and what they've said that it's just his final third isn't there. His decision-making isn't entirely there. But I think at what age? He's 21, I believe. I think he can be under Poch. And if this is what Poch wants, I think then I'm going to side with Poch on this. What do you guys think of this player that we've been linked with?
I know nothing about him apart from the fact that he's good on FIFA. Oh, I know he's had a good season because of FIFA. That's about it. I've not seen him play football.
21. Yeah, I was right. He looks decent. I'm not going to lie. He looks pretty decent. He does remind me a good amount of Mason or Ruben in the sense that he likes to run up the pitch with the ball, that kind of stuff.
Also,
Marshall,
he's not a DM, by the way. He's a
I was just about to say.
DM.
You said he
said
could play DM.
Could.
No, he
could
can't
play
play.
as a
That
DM.
guy cannot play no DM, bro. He's like he almost reminds me like a midfield striker. Like he's just there's no way
I
out.
am attacking.
Even
him.
like I've
saying
seen him play. Just watching his game, he's not defensive minded at all.
Okay.
He can run back and track back and play defense, but as in terms of like DM, like not his space, it's not there. It's not. He's more concerned about getting goals.
He's definitely more attacking minded from what I can tell. That I'll definitely agree with. I mean, I don't know, man. Like we'll never know what happens. I just think it was kind of funny that this link came up almost immediately after Ugarte links all fell through. But from what I've seen of this player, he looks like a decent player. He's young. He's 21. He's got the potential. We'll see what happens. I'd rather have Ugarte. I'd rather have the Caicedo. I'd rather have like a Lavia. I'd rather have like someone who's got more of a experience at I can't even say at the highest level because Lavia doesn't even fall into that category really, unless you really want to consider the Premier League the highest level. But I don't know.
The thing is, though, Marshall, I think you're getting it twisted. I don't think he's a replacement for any of the guys, like these guys, in terms of, or he's being looked as a different option. I think he's being looked at as the replacement for Mount / Havertz, is what he's being looked at. He's being looked at as depth for that position.
Or even Gallagher in that sense too.
Yeah, so that's what he's been looked at. This isn't a new like link with the Ugarte thing at all, because he's not that type of player. Like the Ugarte, it's Caicedo or Lavia for that position. And then it's Veiga. I know we looked at Madison a little bit as like that number 10 potentially, or players like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that conversation for the number 10 or /8. Like if we play a 4-3-3, as I said, basically to open Mount or Havertz's position in the squad.
How do you guys feel about that rumor that apparently it was Pochettino that said, "Don't go crazy for Ugarte. Like we can get someone else."
I like it. It shows that he is flexible, because we've had it before where, just as like Kante, for example. So if it's not his first choice, then it's no one. Like Poch isn't like that. It's a case of, okay, we might not be getting my first choice, but I can pivot into, cool, let's look at like a type of profile then. So instead of it being focused on one player, it's focused on a few players that fit a certain type of profile, and you can kind of go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I respect it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I came into this whole Poch thing thinking like I don't think he's the guy, and I don't know. He's not really anywhere near my first choice or second choice. But listen, I'm respecting how he's approaching this. From what we can tell, I definitely want to see. This is all good and dandy and all, and it gives me a lot of like Tuchel when he came into Chelsea vibes. But I got to see the performances on the pitch, obviously, in order to really, really turn it around with Poch. But I admire that he doesn't want to go crazy with the wages. Like I said, we've had managers, Kante, prime example, who if they don't get their first target, they just don't want anyone. And they get very upset about it, and it affects the club. So he's showing that he's easy to work with, and we need that with the new management and all the people that are coming into the club. That being said, we did bring this up, and who Veiga could potentially replace. These are definitely one of the players. So let's talk about the recent rumors about Gallagher. And then we got two more after this, and then we got it. We called it. But this one's just a quick tweet right here. So apparently Gallagher is being linked with the following clubs, coming from Scott Trotter from Football London. There's an expectation that Conor Gallagher will depart Chelsea this summer. Newcastle and West Ham among clubs that are interested. Hey, if Newcastle want him, I know that Gallagher wanted top 4, top 8 teams. Go for him. Just whatever deal Newcastle gives you, just take it. Rip Newcastle's hand off for that deal. Listen, I don't think this guy's a bad player either, but it's just for Chelsea. No, I am done with Mount. I am done with Gallagher for this team. He's not the kid that we thought he would be. At Crystal Palace, he looked decent, but he came into the season and does not look that good at all. So, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. It's nice to see that there are clubs interested. I think we should sell this player.
Gallagher is the football equivalent of bumper cars. He's the fucking bumper cars.
He is wild.
Let me reiterate something I said earlier. I don't care where he plays, as long as he doesn't grace the pitch of Stamford Bridge. I don't care. I
don't think how people deep how bad he is to build up.
I would say that's cool. He could play in friggin' Slovenia for all I care. As long as he doesn't play for Chelsea Football Club, I couldn't care less.
I can't agree more, man. I mean, on the topic of the midfield as well, let's talk about someone that you might feel a little different than Gallagher in regards to Chukwuemeka. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next tweets that we have here in regards to him. AC Milan apparently are watching Chelsea's English playmaker Carney Chukwuemeka. The player could move on loan with the right to buy, meaning with the option to buy. This is coming from DiMarzio, a very reliable source. Again, I emphasize this. And then we have another one here. From Bobby Vincent. Chelsea do not plan to sell Carney Chukwuemeka this summer or include a permanent clause in any loan contract. The Blues considered sending the 19-year-old midfielder out on loan this summer to help him get some more first-team experience elsewhere. And that being said, depending on what happens with the midfield situation, I know we lost out on Ugarte right now. We're still kind of in a battle with Arsenal for Caicedo, and Lavia is still up in the air. I don't even think we need to loan out Chukwuemeka for game time, to be honest, unless this is coming from Poch.
Nah,
I think he'll play in this team now.
No, I feel like we're gonna hinder his like I really rate Chukwuemeka, and I feel like in order for his development to maximize, he needs to get first team football regularly elsewhere because his talent is that good. I feel like he can't afford to miss out on these developmental years. It's gonna slow him down. You know what I mean? We don't absolutely need him. Like if we're gonna get Caicedo and Lavia, you feel me? We don't need Chukwuemeka just sit, especially if Poch wants to play like a 4-2-3-1. I feel like these last games have shown that he's capable of playing on this level. He just needs development, like go on the low that like a Caicedo went on. I don't want him to play that low of a level. I want him to play PL.
Sure.
RP AC Milan is good, but it's critical right now. He gets the development time week in, week out.
I don't disagree. I think it is really important. He needs play time. I guess I'm coming from the perspective that I have a feeling in me that I think Lavia is probably likely to happen. I'm still on the fence whether or not Caicedo is actually going to happen. And if we only get one of those midfielders done, I think we are going to need someone like Carney to step up and take up that position. As shitty as it is to put that on a 19-year-older, but I think he's got the talent for it. But I don't know. That's where I stand on it.
Yeah, but I don't think we gonna like agree to anything right away. I think maybe he gets the preseason or something like that, halfway through preseason, and then like, okay, cool. Like, all right, we got by then. I'm hoping that we can't afford to mess around. If we get midfielders by the time, like, say, like the second week of preseason, get our signings, it's gonna be easier to assess the squad. You know what I mean? So, I think I personally a strong loan is needed for him. I 100% agree.
I can't disagree with this comment more, Eugene. We haven't had a DM since Matic. Am I right in saying that?
He's saying that we've got too, like, we're asking like for too many DMs, but that's the problem is we need DMs.
We never had it. The Jorginho's not a DM. He was always been a regista, but yeah, we haven't had a proper DM. We need like a proper DM to play the type of football that we want to play, and we just never got one. We never just this is the equivalent of someone saying we don't need a goalkeeper. To me, we definitely need a DM. I think we have plenty of offensive eights. We've had plenty of offensive eights. Even Carney is an offensive eight. Oh my god, I'm drawing a blank right now. Casually, if he stays in the team, he could be an offensive eight, even though he's kind of a cam.
Nah, he's
Enzo to a certain. Yeah, even Enzo to a certain extent. Enzo is pretty much an offensive eight. Like, we have plenty of offensive eights. We just need defensive midfielders. We don't have any, and we haven't had since a while now.
We need Enzo's partner. Like I'm totally on board of it. I think Enzo has the talent to run games. You know what I mean? And I feel like we need someone to take away that defensive load off of him so he can affect the final third. Like, I feel like in that phase, he's so good. You know what I mean?
Enzo is not a regista, bro. What are we talking about?
Yeah, he's not a regista.
He is 100% not a regista. Like, you aren't the first. You know what? I can't even get mad because you're not even the first person to say this in my stream. There's been others in the past that have said the same thing. I think Chris even said it. Enzo was a regista. I got to correct that. But he is 100% not a regista. You look at Pirlo and then look at Enzo and tell me how they're the same, bro. They're not. They're not. Okay, but let's. So, Chukwuemeka, you should get a loan. Please don't sell him. I don't think we should sell him. I think let's see what he can do at another team. I think there might be a place for him at Chelsea, but I see where Xavi's coming from. Let's not risk it. Let's actually give him to a team that is going to use him day in and day out. And I think AC Milan could be that team. So let's move on to the final topic that I wanted to bring up. And it's our fellow American boy and what's been going on with him. Not much, but there is news. So let's talk about Christian Pulisic. Christian Pulisic, let's go. Liam Toomey from The Athletic reporting Newcastle have already informed Chelsea they are not interested in signing Christian Pulisic in this window. AC Milan are possible suitors. While there is a belief within the market that £20 million would be reasonable price for Pulisic, the club is wary of setting any kind of precedent for compromising any transfer fees for player in the final years of his deal. And one more tweet in regards to Pulisic right here. Fabrizio Romano, Christian Pulisic has, this is kind of ironic to say it this way, but has concrete chances of leaving Chelsea this summer. He has green light from club to try a new chapter in case conditions are met. AC Milan are informed there are more clubs in the race. Priority, permanent transfer. This had to be done. I think this was a season for Pulisic to really show he can, solidify a spot in a team and stay fit. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. He had 3 starts in a row under Potter. He was coming in as a sub and staying fit for a while. After 3 starts in a row, he gets injured, and then we see him make cameo appearances as a sub from then on. And it stinks. I think there is a good player in there, but I don't know. What do you guys think it is about him the injuries, obviously. Do you think outside of the injuries, was there more to his ability at Chelsea that was holding him back?
I think to me, I think it's the infrastructure. I do think Pulisic is talented, but certain players can't do well when we're in a mess. You know what I mean? They need an environment where we're stable, where we have a structure in place for him to get the game time. He's never really, to me, he never had a run of games. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where you're just in the team regardless of form. That one time we were calling out him to play, and you had people in front of him, I think Mount and someone else, that were stinking it up. And I think it's time for him to go find a new chapter. I think so. Most of these players, I would say, are not bad. They just can't wrestle it on their own. I look at someone like a Drogba. He has in it him to adapt to times, even if it goes bad. His mentality is so strong. He's gonna he's gonna be successful at where he's at. You know what I mean? But I think this is a new era, a new age of people where they actually need a solid structure for them to thrive in. Sure. So it's best he goes.
And you know what, CFC Duvan, I don't think you're in the minority. I can't lie. I do like Pulisic too. I just don't think I think his public statements have done him in with the whole Tuchel thing and writing the whole book and whatever that he wrote. I think that did do him in, and that didn't sit well with me. But the other thing too is the injuries, the consistent injuries, man. I know, Xavi, you mentioned this, but I think he did get a run of games under Potter, and then he got hurt again. I think it was around in January or December time, probably towards the end of December, beginning of January. He had 3 games where he started, and then he just got hurt again.
I can't. I can't remember. All I know is
wanted Mount to the bench for forever.
No, I don't. It's not even about that. I feel for the past year, he's kind of not had that many injury problems. You know what I mean? He's been fairly healthy. Yeah. I think he's the next one that was supposed to leave in January, but I think that injury did stop him. He was gonna leave, but now it's all right, cool. He can't play, so no one, is gonna want him. But yeah, man,
can't pass a medical.
This, like Scott was saying earlier on the stream, this Clara is so needed. We just need to scrap that old,
Yeah, I agree, man. Scott, Andrew, you guys just have any final words you want to say before we end the stream?
On Pulisic, he's another one that I wish him the best wherever he goes. But yeah, I don't really have any care that he's leaving. He hasn't lived up to what we thought he could be, and it is unfortunate because it's not always been his fault. But at the same time, I feel I feel like he hasn't helped himself because even like I feel like if you've not been given a lot of chances, but sometimes the chances you have been given, you haven't helped yourself. And I do think as well that the stuff behind the scenes, the things with the book, the things like he's another one with like his family. We talked about Mount earlier. He's another one with his family. Like Job Harris says, it's not helping. That sort of shit does not help. That makes things worse because other players and the manager will look at you funny different like sometimes. Just because like, and it's annoying for you, and it's not your fault, but it's not. It's just a problem. Like it creates a problem that it then just kind of festers. So yeah, he can go, and as I said, I wish him the best wherever he goes. I just don't care too much.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I can't agree more. But whether it's AC Milan or I think he'd do well in Italy, to be honest. He probably would. But no, not at all. Eugene, you're only saying that because you've seen him play as a DM, but he's been forced there. Stop it. Stop this. But
on one.
I know. But all right, ladies and gents, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and call it right here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and listening to the Casually Chelsea show. A little bit of a slow news week, but hey, we got a good 2-hour stream out of it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Make sure you do copy and paste this raid message. We're gonna be rating Carefree Lewis. He's still doing his show right now, so be sure to say what's up to him and let him know where you're coming from with that raid message right there. But guys, as usual, make sure you are smashing that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. We have 60% of you guys that do watch have not subscribed yet. Go ahead and do so for me. That'd be awesome. Be sure to check out our memberships. Shout out to our members, by the way, from the proper casuals and higher tier. This goes out to Winter Surfer, Strasbourg Steve, OG Turbo Jesus, Dark, Scott, Epic Nin, and Adrian. Big up to you guys who are big supporters of the channel, and big up to anyone else that's a supporter of the channel who is a member right now as well. So thank you guys for your help, and do check out the tiers. There are some perks that come with the tiers, including having a link to the show when we do the call-in shows and being there when it starts, and other stuff too that will come with time with the more members we get. So check it out. Check out the emojis and all that stuff. It's all fun stuff. But more than everything, check out the links in the description. Everyone's content is there. My content and Ahmed and Sarcasm TV. And all that stuff. So be sure to check that out. Leave a comment down below and hit the bell notification so you don't miss out when we do stream. I'm going to send you guys over to Lewis. Be sure to copy and paste that raid message. But we'll catch you there. We'll catch you again on Wednesday, I believe. Yes, Wednesday probably. Or another day. We don't know yet. We'll see. But keep the bell notification so you are tuned in when we do go live. So guys, we'll see you again and stay casual as usual. Peace.